Oh yeah, I gotta add myself. That's how this works. Big up everyone. How we doing? How we doing? It's the day after a victory. Oh, sweet, sweet victory. And it's a call-in show day. So that means you guys can come on in and have your say and talk your shit and discuss everything Chelsea that you would like to discuss. But today, primarily, I think I'm here to discuss. Well, I don't know what I'm going to discuss. No, I'm kidding. Today, I mostly want to talk about the upcoming game, Liverpool. It's a big one, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to make or break some fans that, for whatever reason, are probably expecting certain things. I'll just say that, just to be a little vague. But big up to every single one of you. I realize my studio's not even fully on. So big up to every single one of you. Hopefully you've been doing good. Hopefully you're doing well. Be sure to smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Guys, I'm going to be totally honest and transparent with you guys. For the last month, the subs, the numbers have been pretty stagnant. Pretty stagnant. So this is the part where I come to you and ask, please, if you are new here, if you just joined us for your first time, if you just stumbled into this channel, this live stream, we do live streams here. We don't do pre-recorded content really. We do, but seldomly. I ask you subscribe because I have a big ambitious goal. Unapologetically ambitious Casually FC goal of hitting 5K subscribers as a milestone. So if you would like to be so generous as to help out with that, that'd be fantastic. And if you're seeing me on your algorithm, if you're seeing this channel pop up in your suggested, it probably means you might enjoy the content. So with that being said, why not subscribe? Why not? Why not subscribe? Why not smash that like button? And if you already smashed the like button, try giving us some hype. I think it has something to do with chatters. So if you're on live streams and you chat a lot, you rack up points and you can use those points to hype up channels. So yeah, hype up the video. It would help out tremendously. I think YouTube is starting to become a little bit more of a community versus just a platform for people to just, you know, put videos on. So that's kind of cool. And yeah, we have our Casually FC community here. So yeah, big up to you guys. Actually, no, seriously, big up to you guys. Seriously. Big up to everyone in the chat. You guys, the guys have been regulars and the guys are here all the time. and gals, obviously. But big up to you guys, and check out the Discord. We have a pretty active community on Discord. Some, consistent culprits in there as well. I tend to pop in from time to time. If anything, I should pop in more than be on Twitter, to be honest. But that's besides the point. Yeah, big up to you guys. Check out the memberships, descriptions, all that stuff. I'm also going to run this call-in show a little differently going forward, just to test things out. I'm going to give you guys the link from the get-go. So if you look at the top of the chat, the pop-up in the chat, at the top, the chat top of it with the pop-up and the link, all that. Or if you refresh now and check the description, you'll see the link to enter the StreamYard. And you guys know how this works if you're regulars. 15, 20 minutes, get the conversation going, get the vocal juices flowing, pause. And then I start letting you guys in and we start having a conversation. So that all being said, the link is already there. Take a back seat, be patient, and when it's your turn, you'll get on the show. But yeah, and also I will mention this again. For those of you who are regular, I've said this before, I say this over and over again. If you are interested in being on the panel, if you are interested in being on the show as a regular and getting regular invites to the show to be part of our discussions, our weekly news updates and all that fun stuff, just be a part of the community. Let me see your face often. Let me, like Coco, I see you often. Quiz Pursuit, you're here often. Master Michael, Ike Icy, Pierre Romero, I see you guys all the time. So I know, okay, these guys are in the chat, they're involved. I know who they are, and you get your chance. That's how you get to know me, and that's how I, okay, cool. You want to come on the show? Like this is organic. I don't just give out clout to just random ass people, because that's what it is, right? Like a lot of people are just looking for clout. I don't just give it randomly to people I don't fucking know. Like that's just no. How do I know you're not like a serial killer or something? Like, yeah, it's like, listen, people, you gotta work for these kind of things to an extent, right? So yeah, hey, listen, Quiz Pursuit. I am not that often when you bring the mood down, though. Listen, I try not to bring the mood down. And thank you for saying that, because that's something that is going to lead me into my conversation today. Guys, you know how I am. I don't like to be overly negative, and I don't like to delude myself and wash everything in positivity, okay? I call it as I see it. My opinion, as I see things, and as I, everything's subjective, right? So my opinions on stuff. So the cool thing about this platform, Casually FC, is that I bring both perspectives to the table, right? So you have people who are very negative at times, Scott or CP, and then I bring the guys who can be a little overly positive, like the real Chris and maybe the RSMs in the world and all this and that. I genuinely think all of us have a genuine basis of like logic, and we can analyze football pretty well. So no one's too negative, but it brings different perspectives to this, right? And then we look at things at all angles. Because one thing I'm gonna say, and I know it's not me. One thing I'm gonna say is that at the end of the day, we all want what's best for Chelsea. And at the end of the day, when it comes to me, my own life philosophy, right? And I don't want to make this about me, this is about Chelsea, but my own life philosophy is that unless something is out of my control, exterior things, I don't like to just bitch and moan. If I can fix it, if I can come up with solutions, that's what I like to do. I'm a man of action. I'm a man of action, not a man of just sit down, moan and groan and whine like a lot of people on Twitter. Let's be honest. So I like to touch grass. I have a full-time job. I don't have to do this, right? I have a full-time job, pays pretty well. I have other hobbies I can do, I can focus on. I do this because I love Chelsea. I love to talk about Chelsea. And to be frank, I'm one of the few out there that can do this for 3+ hours and not really complain. Yeah, maybe sometimes I come out of these a little bit more mentally fatigued than I'd like to, because you have the DHLs of the world and, you know, EPL turfs. Big up to you guys, but sometimes you guys can be frauds. That stress me out. Even some of you regulars. But like at the end of the day, like, it's football, and that's just how I do it. That's just how I deal with it. But anyways, it is a DBZ disc plate. That's a metal plate. These aren't posters. These are all metal plates. These are all metal plates. Let's talk football. Let's talk football. Okay. So we got the result we got yesterday. And I'll be honest with you guys. I think yesterday we probably should have came out of there with a little bit more than just a 1-0. I feel like we did have chances to get a 2 or for a second or a third goal. So I think relatively we played okay. It was a snooze fest. We did, you know, put the handbrakes on at some point and start defending, which MARESCA, I'm just coming to accept that MARESCA just likes to defend and likes to be defensively sound, which is not a bad thing. Listen, some of the best managers out there are defensively sound, and that defensively soundness is what gets them results, right? So I'm not opposed to that approach. And at the end of the day, guys, if you've been here regularly, you know how I am. I care about the result. I don't care about how the football that's played. Even with Pochettino, towards the end, when he started to get into a string of results and winning, I was thinking like, okay, I didn't want Poch, but I have to, if he hits the goals that I ask of him, I might have to reevaluate this. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all results for me. I just want Chelsea to win. I don't care how the fuck they do it. I'm not one of these football hipsters. This channel is called Casually FC for a reason, not Tactical FC, right? So at the end of the day, if you get the result, I don't care. I was happy that we got the result yesterday. At the end of the day, put the 3 points in the bag. Wham, bam, thank you, man. Let's keep it pushing. And so, yeah, I get it, MARESCA. You want to defend. You want to be defensively sound. You know, and to be fair, that is something that Chelsea is in our DNA, right? Being defensively rock solid. John Terry, Peter Cech, you know, like you could name it. There's more players out there. Ricardo Carvalho, Ashley Cole, Ivanovic, Cahill. We've always just Rudiger, Christensen, Thiago. We've always tried to be a defensively sound team. Not always succeed, but we've always tried to. David Luiz, if you want to even throw him in there. I know I don't rate him, but I'll be respectful enough to throw him in that conversation. So I get it, MARESCA. But right now, you ain't got that defense, dog. You ain't that defense. So this is where, listen, you're a younger manager. Don't be closed-minded and stubborn. Be like, listen, and if you ask me, guys, my favorite manager of all time is Don Carlo. Why? Because Don Carlo, and Tuchel's up there too, to be fair, but Don Carlo likes to bring the best out of his players and use them in the best ways possible. Doesn't always succeed. I mean, he failed about a little bit, but personality-wise, CSC for lies, I love Jose, but football-wise, not really. But football-wise, I love Don Carlo. I love Don Carlo. So, for me, if Don Carlo can do it at his age, MARESCA, you can adapt your style. You can recognize your weaknesses and strengths and start to push more into your strengths. So, that's why I criticize MARESCA. I'm not going to be MARESCA out because I find it really funny and odd that people, it'll take forever. It'll take forever for people to, and we saw it. It took all last season until we solidified fourth for people to start turning around. Win the Conference League. Okay, a few people have started to jump on the bandwagon. Won the Club World Cup. A huge portion of the fan base were on the bandwagon. It took a whole last season for that to happen. But in 6 games, it only took 6 games for motherfuckers to jump off the wagon again. It's crazy how easy it is to lose trust than to gain it, especially in football. It's a very odd phenomenon. So for me, I'd have to see a consistent run, a very consistent run of like, oh shit. Like I'm talking a Graham Potter run, right? Like I'm talking a Graham Potter run. You could even say a Poch run, but Graham Potter was worse. For me to lose faith in MARESCA and say MARESCA out. And it annoys me because listen, and maybe I need to stop listening to content creators because I'm listening to content, I'm watching this and that, and I'm hearing people say, I've lost faith in the manager after 2 games. United and Brighton. Mind you, I get it, like, there weren't great results, but really? 2 games and you lost faith in the manager. That's it. Those 2 games define the whole entire 38-game season for you. That just baffles me. It's just what rational, reasonable person thinks that way. Like, if you've developed a good trust, this person has shown you, hey, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, you know, and they've done it over a good amount of time. They've proven to you over and over again. But then they slip up once and all of a sudden you lose trust. Motherfucker, you got trust issues. That's what I think. I think you have fucking trust issues. But football is fickle. Football is fickle. And I've said it before, guys. When I was doing that receipt stream, I've said it. Football is an emotional sport. People will change your mind. They will flip-flop and they will do this and that. I try not to get too emotional in the game. I know it's hard to do because sometimes with the match reactions, especially when the game is immediately after the game, the reviews immediately after the game, we're going to get emotional because we're in the heat of the moment. We just watched the game. We saw the result. We're angry. We saw the result. We're happy. You know, like it happens. That's why back in the day, I used to do the reviews the day after the game. But for sake of continuity and just attention on the platform, I just moved it to day of. And it just worked out better. I was already home watching the game. So it just works out that way, right? But it's just frustrating. It's annoying, and it's just like I can't wrap my head around it. So I try to be balanced with my takes. I try to be. People say it's positive, but I like to believe like, listen, dude, it's 2 games. There's a whole bigger picture here. People always fail to see the bigger picture, just like people fail to realize these are displays and not posters. JK. But I wanted to bring this up because we have a very big game coming up on Saturday. And I already know that, first of all, guys, I'm just going to flat out say it. And I'm going to start off the show like this. And again, this is a call-in show. Link above in the chat if you're watching this on your phone. Or if you refresh and you go to the description, if you're watching this on desktop as well, link is in there as well. And you can have your say and butt heads with me and whatever the fuck. And you guys know I'm pretty reasonable. I don't really crash out that often. But when I do, oof. But we're going to lose Saturday. I'm realistic. I'm actually realistic. I'm not like these guys that sometimes come into the chat and say, oh, we're realistic. Oh, we're going to get relegated. Oh, we're realistic. What are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. I'm realistic. Okay? I don't trust this defense. Shout out JC. I don't trust this defense right now to not commit bozo moments against Isak. I don't trust this defense enough to not gift Florian Wirtz genital squirts his first G or A. I don't trust this defense to keep composure through the middle, by the way, because on that left back side, I got Cuckoo. I can trust Cuckoo. I don't trust our center backs to keep composure when Mo Salah is in front of them. I just don't. I don't. And to make matters worse, to add context, it's also we don't have Fofana, we don't have Tosin, we don't have Levi Colwell. Who else don't we have? Axel Disasi, he's in purgatory, bro. I don't know. This man's like in limbo. He's just floating in some black abyss right now, right? We only have Acheampong, Jorel Hato, and Badiashile. Booty Shield, whatever you want to call him. Listen, you had a good game against Benfica. Good. You needed that. I am not convinced you're going to have that same game tomorrow. No, Saturday. I'm sorry. I'm just not. It's one game. I'm not. I need to see a string of games to be like, oh, okay, this guy has turned it around. So, do I trust Jorel Hato? I don't know. I mean, he had one good game. He was decent against Brighton, but I need to see more. And you guys, Chalobah suspended too. Well, that might be good for us, to be honest. But, and Acheampong is like, I think he's 19, right? He's 19. Motherfucker's gonna get twist and turn. If we get a corner and Van Dijk just comes in and bullies these guys, I'm not convinced. So Badiashile might play because of that. But still, I just, it's not looking good, guys. I think we can score. I think we can rip apart that defense. I'm not afraid of their defense at all. Konate has been having so many bozo moments since he's started this season. You know, Van Dijk can be had on his day. I think we'll cause him problems. Kirkez, Frimpong, like these guys are not defensive fullbacks. Also, shout out Kirkez, the best left back in the Premier League last season, right? Yeah, us Chelsea fans know. We're not stupid. We know. We're not GNA merchants here when it comes to fullbacks. We understand that being a fullback is more than getting GNA. Defensive ability and contributions add a lot to a fullback, and we know Cucurella has it both. But yeah, Kirkes, best left back in the Prem, right? Fuck off. But yeah, guys, I just think we're gonna lose 3-1. And I'm saying that now because if it does happen, which I think it will, I'm not going to get upset. I think the team is allowed to lose from time to time. Out of 38 games, I think the team is allowed to lose a few times. Okay, there's a reason why Arsenal is the only team in the Premier League to have gone undefeated for a league season. There's why Leverkusen did it. I think Juve did it back in the day. Maybe 3 or 4 teams in the history of football, in European football at least. It's not a common thing. So teams are allowed to lose. This is what I'm trying to get at. Against Liverpool, I think it's acceptable that we can take a loss. I know it's at the bridge, but let's be honest. Our defense hasn't been that fortress that we want it to be. We're allowed to lose. And I think losing to Liverpool, it also depends on the manner, right? But I think losing to Liverpool is going to be perfectly fine. It's not the season's over. Oh, MARESCA out. Oh, my God. Our club is in shambles. We're getting relegated. We're a championship side. Oh, young people, blue coat. Oh, the model. Oh. No, it's not this bullshit, okay? No, stop. Like, I think losing to Liverpool is a perfectly valid team to lose to. Now, if you lose to Burnley, if you lose to fucking, Wolves and shit like that, then we have a different conversation. But in terms of this game where Liverpool are the favorites, yeah, I'm expecting to lose. I'm not expecting a win, not with this defense. So my prediction, I think we're going to lose 3-1. It is what it is. And then as long as we pick it up from there, and then in the next game, start getting some wins, points on the board, and keep that going, I think we'll be fine. I still think we're going to finish second this season. I'm not going to lie to you guys. We might not be in a title race, but I still think we're going to finish second. And I thought that, especially after hearing all the negativity, I was like, damn, with all this negativity, it makes it seem like you guys think we're going to finish like 8th or 10th. And it's so absurd. It's like, it's crazy how people are so easily able to go in that direction of like, oh, we're going to finish 10th. We're going to finish 12th. Oh, 8th. Oh, I'm being realistic. I'm being facts over feelings, all this shit. Cool. I have no reason to believe that we can't make progress considering the last 4 seasons we've been in an upward trajectory. There's nothing to make me believe we're going to go downwards. There really isn't. Say what you want about the squad. That's all subjective. That's all opinions. And that's a bunch of players that some of you don't even know. That's fine. I want to see what happens on the pitch. Because I'm not going to lie. I'm not seeing very much criticism about Buenanote anymore. In fact, people have been pretty quiet about Buenanote. But here on Casually FC, we've been praising the good performances we've seen so far. Over on the Final Whistle podcast with Javon, we've been noticing, yeah, Buenanote's been doing pretty good, actually. But no one else seems to be talking about him. Why? Because maybe before you initially thought it was a shit signing. Okay. We'll see. We'll see in due time. The season isn't defined in 6-7 games. It's defined over 38 games. So, what I'm getting at is that I have no reason to believe, based off the facts that we were in 12th, 6th, 4th, based off of the progress we've been making in the last 3 seasons, not 4 seasons. I correct myself there. I have no reason to believe we're going to drop down to 8th now with the same manager, with an improved squad, whether you want to believe that or not. Like, the players, we bolstered the squad. Andre Santos is back in the team. We got Estevao in the team now. We got a backup left back. Yeah, our center backs are the same center backs as last season. They're not going to all of a sudden now be relegation center backs. They need work. They need to get in better form. And we do need to improve on those center backs because I admit now they're not good enough. I know. You see? We are finished. Yeah, we're finished. We're finished. We're getting relegated, huh? Like, this is the same team of last season. Plus a few players that we added. Now, we haven't improved on left wing necessarily, so that's a 0. It's not a plus, it's not a minus, and I think it's a 0. I don't think we've gotten worse at left wing. Time will tell. Maybe we have, because Nani, I think... Well, Nani's not even a left winger, so never mind. It's just... I don't see the logic in thinking it's going to go backwards when it's only been going forward since these guys have come and joined the team. But that's enough of me talking. CFC for life, big up. Let's get you on the channel. How you doing, my friend? And welcome to the call-in show. What do you have to say, man? I cannot hear you. You're very quiet.
Is it any
very,
better?
very quiet. Oh, there you go. Ooh. Okay. We're just gonna... You're having some technical difficulties, so just go on the private chat and let me know when you're ready, because it sounds like you're having some issues with your mic there. So just, you know, work around with that and then let me know when you're ready. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already done so, like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff. And yeah, let me see what some of you guys in the comments are saying. Quiz pursuit. We all want our team to win in our ways, but I can't live like that. Yeah, obviously we all want to see a certain style of football, right? And that's why, like, for me, I keep saying, like, I don't really care about the football. I just, yeah, I mean, okay. I care about the football. but not to the point where I want a manager out or sacked because I don't like the football. I like results. You can have beautiful, scintillating football and be in relegation. That's not going to make me happy. You can have ugly, rigid, park the bus football like Nuno last season and finish in top 4 or win the league, and I'll be happy. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care about the style of football. I care about results. If you know what I mean. Ideally, I would love to have both, to be honest. I think we could get a result against Barca at the Bridge. I think so, too. I do think so. But I need to see the team's form improve drastically over the course of the next few weeks as we get into, you know, I think this is the long stretch we're going into. There's no more international breaks after this one, right, guys? The remaining, let's look this up. Remaining international breaks football. All right, FIFA International Match Calendar. So November. Okay, so we do have another in November. And then after November, we have our long stretch plus AFCON. So there's another international break in November. And after that, it's that long stretch of no international breaks until March. And then June, July is when the FIFA Club World Cup starts, which, by the way, shout out your countries you're representing in the chat. Okay, we got football to be here. I don't back my team to beat Burnley at the moment. Just waiting for international break, to be honest. All right, well, fair enough. That's fair. I mean, Burnley haven't been easy side to beat, to be honest. But still, I reckon Chelsea should be good enough to beat them. But guys, once again, the link to the call-in to the show is at the top of the chat as well as in the description. If you would like to join in, have a conversation, have your say, and discuss Chelsea. CFC for life. Let's see if your mic works now. What are you saying, my friend?
What does it sound like?
It sounds very crackly, but at least you're now coming through.
Oh, fucking hell.
Using a wired headset?
Yeah.
Might be time to switch to Bluetooth, my friend.
Is that what it is? Is it
it could be.
Though?
It is very crackly. If you go back to the video and listen to it, you'll see it's pretty crackly.
How do I fix that?
Or you could just not use headset and just use your phone.
Okay, wait there. Okay, wait there. Let me try something.
All right, let me know when you're ready. I'll bring you back in. All right, let's keep reading some chats. I felt like getting a win was more important than the performance. Our winless streak is now over. Yeah, I agree. Listen, getting wins is always going to be important for team morale, for confidence, and for all that. So by all means, I think getting the win was the most important thing about yesterday. And although it wasn't pretty, guys, you got to also keep into consideration, we kept a clean sheet. We didn't concede a goal, which our defense definitely needed that confidence boost as well to keep a clean sheet against Benfica. And the Benfica league form hasn't been very bad either. They've been pretty good, actually. So it's not like this is a joke Benfica side. So yeah, we did good to keep them at bay from scoring a goal. CSC for life. Third try is third time is a charm.
Right. Does it sound the same?
It does sound the same, actually. Actually, it might be worse, to be honest.
Okay,
Yeah, it might be some messed up wiring. It's saying chat.
Does that sound the same?
We're struggling here.
What about now?
Nothing's changed.
You know.
Damn, that's a bummer.
All right, I'm gonna go to my laptop. I'll be back.
All right, sounds good. In the meantime, let's get Gabriel in here. Gabriel, what's going on, my friend? How are you? Welcome to the call-in show.
Yeah, good, brother. How's the audio?
Good. It's good. It sounds good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Big up, my
The
friend.
last
How
time
are
I
you,
joined
man?
a stream of yours was probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was a really long time ago, and I think we were talking about Graham Potter, to be honest. Very,
Well, you've got a better memory than me in
I
terms of the content,
think,
but I just
I
remember it was some
think.
time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very tumultuous time. We'll say that. And you came with a lot of calmness and reasoning. So I remember that. But and guys, I remember. I try to remember as many of you guys as possible. So I'm not one of those. I'm just gonna forget people. I remember people. But big up, Gabriel. Talk to me, man. How you feeling about Chelsea? What do you want to talk about?
What's the topic?
Whatever you want it to be, but it could be about Liverpool.
Yeah, I was being a bit sarcastic. Yeah. Look, I think, my overall opinion is I think we just need to be patient. We have to accept,
Hmm.
especially for a lot of the older Chelsea fans. I'm in my 40s, so obviously I've been through the pre-Abramovich era. I've been through the Abramovich era. I've been through the blue coat era. I think we've just got to accept we are where we're at. It's going to take a lot of patience. I've never really been a fan of always going after the manager when things don't go well.
Sure.
Yes, we can be critical, but being critical of a manager doesn't have to be extreme as he has to be sacked.
Hmm.
And if anything, I've become more hard on more scrutiny being on Stanley and Win Stanley and who's the other guy? But yeah, I forgot. I've been
Lawrence
caught.
Stewart.
Yeah, Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley basically, because Enzo, I like the guy. He's got something about him. I think he's shown some signs over the last 18 months or so that he's developing as a coach as well. And I've referenced this in other sort of forums. He
Sure.
acknowledged that he was one of the reasons he was sort of chosen was because he was going to develop as a manager along with the squad. Sadly for him, he's been put in a position where maybe the SDs haven't backed up some of his sort of requests for, like obviously we know the goalkeeper's fiasco that happened in the summer with Maignan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and him wanting sort of backup central defenders. He's tried to be politically sort of correct and backtrack on some of his comments.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, I think hopefully, basically as a fan base, we just need to be accepting of this is the model that we're going with as a club.
Yeah.
And we need to maybe show a bit more support behind the manager, less reactive. It doesn't mean, again, like what I said, it doesn't mean that we can't criticize some tactical mistakes and everything, but you've got to think of it within the context of he's been dealt with certain cards and he's trying his best. So that's my overall sort of commentary on the recent few weeks.
You know what it is too? Like, in theory, I don't think the model is bad. I don't think the idea is a bad idea. Because under Roman, and let's be honest, and I'll bring this conversation to the forefront as well. Under Roman, I think we started to see a decline in our ability to challenge, after Conte for the title and even for trophies, because I think restrictions were starting to get tighter and tighter, and Roman was not allowed. Roman's ability to bring in money and just inject money into the club was being limited to FFP, PSR. Oh, how much revenue are you making through Chelsea? And then that revenue needs to be a guideline as to how many players you can bring in and how much you have to sell. Like, it was getting to the point where I think the rules were allowing Roman to inject less money into the club, right? So that being said, I think part of the problem that the fan base has with the new model is that we're buying so many players and we're flipping for profit. And as much as people don't want to believe this, as much as people want to deny this, unfortunately, this is our main way of making revenue because the stadium isn't enough. And the stadium is never going to be enough anyways. This is always going to be part of the revenue. But usually you would think like a stadium and a front of shirt sponsor, which is totally their fault, by the way, right? Those two things give you some leeway so you don't have to sell as many players. So there's that factor. Going back to the model, I genuinely think if the idea is to slowly but surely build this team that will be a team that dominates the league over and over again for a sustained period versus a team that can get you a result 1-2 seasons maybe where you back the manager, bring in players, all this and that, and you have a good 1 or 2 seasons and you fall off again. I think that idea is a good one. And I think we have players that, and I believe in our players. I do believe that Enzo, Caicedo, they're going to keep improving. Colwell, Reese, so on and so forth. Most of the players in our team, emphasizing the most, not everyone. I think these players are on a trajectory to keep improving and getting better and better as they age, as they gain more experience, as they hit their primes. And once they hit their prime, I'm hoping that the quality is that of the same Man City that won that won 4 in a row, right? That did the what the hell is it called? The triple? It's not called a triple. What the hell is it called? I forget the terminology. But the problem with Man City, right? And the one thing that Man City failed to do was to develop players or bring in players that will eventually take the mantle when some of those best players in that team start to fall off. The treble. Thank you. So you saw what happened when Rodri fell out with injury, right? They didn't have someone for Rodri.
Yeah, can I just interject? Yeah?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I think in theory, yes, theory is always good until put into practice. And when we look back to the first season, the Bowley transfer window under Tuchel, they did show a lot of, big buck type of signings. Obviously, most of them were flops and ended up being sold on, apart from who was it? Probably Sterling, who was signed as a marquee.
Sure.
So I think initially they probably showed a lot of desire to try and approach it as in let's invest heavy and try and win in the short term. But I think, again, maybe I'm being biased, maybe I've got a bit of a hidden agenda, I don't know, but I still think we have to raise more scrutiny on the types of signings that the SDs have been allowed to
understand. Yeah.
And definitely, I think we've been lucky with some, like obviously the, what's his name? Obviously the Cole Palmer one has been a big bailout of their overall sort of, I guess we can call it a bit of a lucky signing in the sense that he was signed for relatively cheap and he's been a crucial player. But I still think there's some random weird type of signings that no one can really make sense of, paying like 40-50 million for some players that end up being poor and then not paying for, like I always go back to the recent window. If we'd spent the 18-20 million on Maignan, for example, that would have been like a major sort of signing that would have pacified most of the fan base.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like again, I go back to my whole sort of argument. I think maybe we need to be less on the manager, more on the overall sporting directors. There's obviously been a lot of money spent, and yes, I understand that whole model of let's invest in up and coming players in the hope that they're gonna be great. If they're not great, well, we can flog them later. So alternatively, it might just be we need to see it out for 5-6 seasons, which most people aren't prepared to see it out that long, are they? So,
but part of your original argument was also the fan base being patient, right? And this is where I kept saying with the whole Maignan situation. Right now, I'm very critical of the directors for not having just, why are we penny pinching on this? And you could say PSR and all this. Listen, based on the news I've read, you still had 60 mil threshold to play with. That's under what Maignan was going to cost you. So even if you want to use that excuse, you can't use it because reports are saying you had money to use, right? But if the grand scheme is that you want to sign him on a free in January, and that actually does happen, and there's still rumors that that's a thing, then you know what? Kudos. You were playing 4D chess. Meanwhile, everyone was playing regular chess. And we couldn't see it because in the moment we were reacting and we weren't being patient. And that goes to what I was originally saying. Like, with this project, and I knew from day one, because it's what they said, this is going to be like a 3-year thing to see it really, really judge it. Well, last season was the 3rd season, and in that last season, we won 2 trophies and got into top 4 again. Now, from there, you need to continue that. You need to win more trophies or show progression in the Premier League. And I do believe these players are going to get better. I do believe these players will eventually hit the levels of some of those top Man City players that we saw when they won the treble and the quad. And I hope, and this is something that in due time we'll see with patience, right? I hope that if that does happen, if we do win the league, if we do start winning trophies and doing that consistently, our owners don't make the same mistake that Sheikh Mansour and Man City did, where they kind of let that team run its course and didn't really bolster to find people to pass the torch to. Like, I think even now, like, KDB's gone. Foden was supposed to be that next KDB, the guy that you pass the torch to. He hasn't stepped up. Reinders could play that position, but Reinders, time will tell. We're going to analyze at the end of the season. Like, there was a whole season that they lost momentum because they were behind the 8 ball. I think that's the right saying. Behind the 8 ball when it comes to being ready for when these players are not going to be in your team anymore. And I hope our owners don't make that mistake. You actually reinforce and always have a backup and always have a contingency plan when these players start to fade out. I hope we're smart about it. So that way we're just replacing, little broken pieces like a car. Like, oh, this is we need new tires. Let's get new tires. We need this. Just maintain it. Change the oil. Like, if you don't maintain a car, it's eventually going to fall apart no matter how much you pay for it initially. But, CSC for life. Hopefully your mic and everything is working fine this time.
Talking of passing on the mantle, is there someone else to come in then? Yeah.
Not right now. It's just you, my man.
All right.
All right.
Look, just one more thing though. One more thing, Marshall.
Marshall.
If the whole model is about, okay, we're going to invest in young players and they're going to come good in the end, don't you think the scrutiny is also on the degree of the level of investment? So if, let's say, we're copying this sort of Brighton or Brentford model of, because I think the Brentford owner broke away from Bloom, I think, at Brighton. I think they had a fallout. So they've adopted a similar type of model. Why are we spending 40, 50 million pounds on players versus Brighton spending a fraction of that? So if it's an economic type of approach, which I could understand that, okay, we're going to snap up a player for 10 million euros from Argentina who's going to go on to be a 70-80 million pound type of player, it almost seems like we're not doing that. We're pumping in 40-50 million pounds on players that, or maybe I'm exaggerating the figure, but
No, you're
we're
right.
paying a lot more. We're paying a lot more for players that end up being average flops, sent on loan. Again, this is all within 2-3 season window, so it's hard to see how it plays out. But for the amount of investment, I think they could have maybe, the compromise could have been, let's buy in like crucial type of players at a premium, whilst we're developing in the background players that are up and coming at a lesser type of fee. So, but anyway, I'm probably going to shoot now. Yeah, I think I've said too much, but
No, you're fine.
good to
You're
be
fine.
part of the show. Yeah?
Yeah, of course, of course.
All right, take care, brother. See you guys.
Take care, my friend.
See you.
Thank you
Bye.
for coming on. Sorry. CSU for life. I'm sorry. You were gonna go, but Gabriel wanted to speak, and I'll address what Gabriel said in a second. But CFC, I wanted to give you a chance. I couldn't tell who was who because you both don't have an avatar.
Is it any better now?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Now I was gonna ask you something. Yeah. Because
Sure.
that last gentleman that said about Chelsea fans being patient it was a good thing, but when
Sure.
you look at most of the Chelsea fans, like if I ask you, where did you have us finishing this season?
Second.
Right. So can I ask you, from what you saw last season, what made you think that we was good enough to finish second?
We were good enough to finish fourth. We beat PSG with that same team, very convincingly in a cup final. We won trophies when we hit finals this time, unlike Pochettino, where we got to finals and we capitulated. And so I think there was a shift in mentality, for one, in the team. And second, because the team is so young, I expect a natural improvement in ability from each individual that, is still not even in their prime. And normally with footballers, I don't see a degradation in quality unless you're like the Modric of the world and guys that just outlive the average, decline for players. We don't have those players yet. They haven't hit that age of 29, 30, 31, where you start seeing a decline. So I can only expect that there's going to be improvement. You're going towards your prime. These players are going to get better. They're getting more experience. They've now tasted what it's like to compete and win and have silverware and be a champion of something. So with all that, you could have given me the same exact team and I would have said second place. Now you gave me the same team, but you've also added and bolstered backups, players that have potential in the future. Minus the center back position, right? We do have players, but they're not even in the squad, right? And that's where a lot of the criticism comes from. And I'll even give Sanchez a little bit of that too. Like, I think he's improved from the beginning of last season to this season. I think he is becoming more reliable. I still don't trust him. I'm emphasizing that, chat. I still don't trust Sanchez. But to be fair to him, he's also not in his prime, right? Like, goalkeepers don't hit their prime until later. But that's why I wanted Maignan, because Maignan was already ready, and at the price, he was cheap. But you were going to rebuttal. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, okay, you said we beat PSG. Okay, so if I look at the run when we beat PSG, the teams we faced wasn't really all that. If I be honest, yeah. Apart from a PSG, did we have Benfica? No.
Yes.
Yeah, and then who else? A couple Brazilian teams, which they're good teams.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. So if I look at, all right, we beat PSG. Yeah, in one game we beat PSG. Now it's a difference if we beat PSG in the Champions League, right? Because for me, yeah, we won in the final, the Club World Cup. But for me, it's like, okay, that's one game. Now, that doesn't then tell me that we're good enough to finish second. Because if we look at Premier League, it's different. Being a cup team and being a Premier League team is completely two different things. In a cup, you don't even play that many games. In the Club World Cup, how many games did we play? 5, 6, 8 games, something like that in total.
Something like that.
Yeah, right. A league,
games.
all right, exactly. A league, 38 games. On top of that, when you're going for the league, you're playing other games on top of that too. You're playing league, you're playing Champions League games, you're playing FA Cup, you're playing League Cup. So for me, to make that jump from fourth all the way to second, yeah, it can be done. I'm not saying it can't be done, but for me, that's quite a big jump. Whereas I haven't seen my team be able to string 10, 15 wins in a row. Because if you want to try and finish second, you've got to, number one, you've got to try and win a lot of games in a row. Number two, you've got to try and beat teams around us, where we haven't beat Arsenal in how many years in the league? I can't even remember the last time we beat Arsenal in the league, right? So we have to try and beat them, and then we have to try and beat City. Because as crap as City are, we still haven't beat City in a long time. So for me, it's like, yeah, can we really do that? I don't know. I'm not saying we can't, and I'm just basically saying I haven't really seen anything. Yeah, we beat PSG, and that's amazing, but that doesn't determine if we can finish second. Now, another thing, other teams are getting stronger too. While we're getting stronger, yes, Arsenal got stronger with a couple of their signings. Man City, yeah, they've got a couple of signings too, and then Liverpool. So, but for me, Arsenal have shown that they can go the distance. Yeah, they haven't won it, but they've come second 2-3 times now. So if we can get second, we have to beat Arsenal. We have to go and try and beat Liverpool on Saturday.
Not necessarily.
No. Okay, we don't have to beat Liverpool, but for me, it's like if you want to show something about us, go and beat Liverpool. Don't lose the game. You know, like this is where the manager earns his actual money. Yeah, we've got a lot of injuries, so I can take that into consideration because our centre backs, who's it going to be? Achimpong and Badiashile, probably. Yeah, I'm guessing because everyone else is probably out. So I can take that into consideration that it's going to be a tough game because we haven't really got our full strength squad. So I can kind of take that into consideration, but. Yeah, I don't. When you were saying earlier about people saying we might finish 8th or 9th, no, that's they're going too far. They're doing too much.
Yeah,
but like some people, a lot of Chelsea content creators are saying we must go for the league, and I'm like, how? Like where? You can't go from we can. We've done that before where we've finished outside the top 4 and then we've won the league. But how many times does that really happen? Now that can happen, but I'm looking at the manager. Is a big factor too, because number one, it's his first season. So for me, it's second now. But for me to see if he can make that jump, I have no idea. So for me to say, he must win the league, or we should go for a title challenge. Yeah, of course we want ambition, but at the same time you've got to be realistic because I haven't really seen what this team can do yet. Now this is for them to prove this season what they can do. So it'll be interesting to see where we finish because I predicted us third and then maybe get a cup, FA Cup, League Cup, something like that. And then next season go for, try and push for the title. But I hope they prove me wrong and actually, because a lot of Chelsea fans are saying they want the title and nothing more, which is fair enough. But I just feel like, why are we trying to run before we can walk? And look at the players we've got. We've got a couple world-class, or we've got a couple really, really good players or some world-class. But when I look at the other team, we don't like, when I look at Liverpool, they don't have to play well and then they can win games. Whereas I don't think we can do that a lot. Where if we don't play well, can we really win a lot of games? That's what I'm kind of scared about.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question first. Under Tuchel, right? When we won the Champions League, did you think the following season we were going to challenge for the title?
Wait, say that again.
When we won the Champions League under Tuchel, the following season, did you think we were going to challenge for the title?
I was optimistic, I thought,
especially because we got Romelu Lukaku, right? We needed a striker in that season.
Yeah, but I didn't think he was the missing piece personally. I didn't think. I know a lot of the media was like, "Oh, he's the missing piece," blah blah blah. And he scored a lot of goals. For me, I just didn't think he kind of suited how we played.
Did you think we were going to win the title, or not even win, but at least challenge?
Yeah, I thought we'd be up there. I'll tell you why as well.
But no, hold on. Let me just kind of
yeah,
because you said the run into the World Cup, right?
Yeah,
we didn't have a very difficult run in that Champions League either. If we have to be completely fair, I mean, Frank Lampard got us into the round of 16, and that's Frank Lampard. Okay, and then once we got in the round 16, what we do? We played Atletico Madrid.
That's a season.
And we played
season team.
Yes, but it wasn't the Atletico Madrid we see now. That was Atletico Madrid without Griezmann. There still wasn't like, yeah, it's a seasoned team. I'll give you that, but you know, it could have been a much tougher team.
But that's one of the toughest teams you can face, really, right? If you look at
it's one of the tougher teams, but if we were facing Real Madrid, a PSG at that time, or these other teams, we would have had a much more difficult time. It was a favorable draw, was it not?
Yeah. But if you look at it was. But if you look at the group stages, even that was you're facing a lot of good teams. You're even the group stages you're facing good teams, and then the knockout stage you're facing good teams. So for me, and then you can use that argument, but then if you look at the squad as well, the squad was mixed. We didn't just have young players that haven't done anything before.
Yeah, it was mixed between shit attackers and good defenders.
Well, good defenders can get you quite far.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have Mendy at the time as well.
Yeah, and Mendy also, you know, he was good at the time, but we all learned he was pretty crap.
Didn't we have N'Golo Kante?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Good defenders.
So we had N'Golo Kante, who's one of the best DMs by far, right? And got man of the match in like 2-3 games or something like that, right? He pulled out an absolute all-timer. Yeah. So for me, that was huge. And then didn't we had Rudiger in the back.
Rudiger, no one rated when he was under Frank Lampard and wanted to sell him.
But then he stepped up. He started to show levels. So for me, we had a mix of different players. For me, we didn't just have a lot of young players. We didn't just have like 20-year-olds and 22.
But we don't have a bunch of young players now either.
We've got 20.
That was an argument that I could entertain 3 seasons ago. Enzo Fernandez is not young anymore. Moises Caicedo isn't young anymore. Cole Palmer is what, 23 now? 22?
23?
22, 23. Okay, João Pedro's not young. Pedro Neto's not young. Cucurella's not young. Reece James not young.
Them players you named, they're still young. They're not old. But 21, 22 is still quite young. If you think 21,
but who was 21 or 22 in the team?
Isn't
that's
Palmer
playing
22?
Consistently.
Palmer's
22 or 23. I can look it up right now. Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer. Wow. Cole Palmer.
Gittins.
Yeah, he's 23 years old.
What is he? 22?
23. Cole Palmer's 23.
Okay, he just turned that, didn't he? He must have. Surely.
He turned 23 in May. So before Club World Cup.
Oh yeah, quite a while then. Yeah, a few months. Yeah, but I feel like we've still got a young team.
You feel like I think you feel like that because that's what's been being said for the last 2-3 seasons. That's what Jamie Carragher's still saying.
No, but if you look at who's won stuff in the team, you'll say Enzo Fernandez, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll say what, Reece James?
Yeah.
And then who
prior to coming to Chelsea, are you talking about?
Yeah. If we look at if we look that's my point. So if we look at top level, who's won stuff, you can't say Caicedo, you can't say Cucurella, you can't say the goalkeeper, you can't say João Pedro, you can't say Palmer. Okay, Palmer has been around successful Man City, but he wasn't the integral part. He wasn't the guy that they were relying on. So for me, it's like, and then we had Jackson before. He wasn't a guy who won stuff. So for me, it's like, in that team, who's really been there apart from Enzo?
Okay, but let's go back to what you were saying originally, because I don't want to stray too far from the initial point you pointed. Right? Like, we're talking about that UCL team that you were saying has a mixed variation of age and players of different experience and all that. That's fine. regardless, we didn't have that challenging of a run. I'm looking right now at our group stage. We had Krasnodar, Rennes, and Sevilla. Like, we, as a Chelsea fan, all of us expected to top that group.
Yeah.
And I remember we were worried about going up against Atletico Madrid, not because of the quality of the team per se, but because of Frank Lampard. Because we were in shit form with Frank Lampard all of December and January. And then February was when we were going to play Atletico Madrid. And we beat Atletico Madrid very convincingly, to be honest, over two legs.
With that season, that season there, wasn't they like trying to go for the league?
Maybe I have to look that up. But let me read the team. Let me read the team. It's like, oh my god, it was Atletico Madrid with an aging Luis Suarez. That wasn't the same Luis Suarez of Liverpool.
Did he not win the league with them though?
I'll check in a minute. João Felix, Andre Correa, Lemar, Saul, who flopped at Chelsea, Koke, Llorente, Savage, Felipe, Hermoso, Oblak. That was the Oblak that was genuinely like a good Oblak. Let me look at exactly what you were saying about Atletico Madrid 2021.
Won the league, but I don't know if it was that season. But I know he won the league with Atletico.
I don't know if it was this season, actually. Let me look into this. Oh, that was the season they won the league. Yeah, you're right. 2020, 2021, right?
Yeah.
I'm reading the right one. Okay, yeah, that's the one. Okay, yeah. So they did win the league that season.
Yeah, and that's my point. So you looked at that squad,
but we didn't know they were gonna win the league when we faced them.
You laughed at the squad as if to say like that's not a good squad. So
no, but it's still, regardless of what I think, every one of us,
I thought it'd be
as Chelsea fans would. Yeah, we knew it was gonna be a tough game, but it was a favorable draw. There's a difference, right? It's a favorable draw. Like, we could have faced PSG, Real Madrid, not Barcelona, because they weren't even in that.
PSG
City
weren't really. I mean, they've always had players, so they probably would. PSG's always going to be tricky because they always bought players. So
yeah, but my point being is that my original point, right, is that we went that right after Atletico Madrid, Porto, favorable draw. Real Madrid, which that's a tough game. That's a tough game in Man City. That's a tough game.
Go.
Two tough games, right?
There you go.
Okay, so even with that somewhat favorable draw, Chelsea fans were thinking we were going to challenge for the league the season after. Club World Cup, right? We have relatively favorable draw. I will give you that. But I'm not going to sit here and belittle the fact that these Brazilian teams weren't easy. We lost to Flamengo in the group stage.
Of course.
I know you didn't say that, but you were implying that the draw, it wasn't like a very difficult draw.
No, so what I meant is, the draw, for me to then say we're going to, because some Chelsea fans say we're going to win the league, and they base it off of we went to the Club World Cup and won it, right? So my sort of debunk was like, okay, we went through that, we beat PSG in one game. So because we now beat PSG, a lot of people have then said, right, that's then catapulted us to win the league.
But it wasn't just beating PSG, right? Like, there's context to it as well. Like, you can see in that tournament, we were playing good football. After Flamengo, something turned on in the team, and you could see, like, listen, we just lost to Brighton, right? We've lost to teams that, if you compare some of the teams we lost to this season to some of those Brazilian teams, you would favor the Brazilian team to win. Like, it's just, we lost to worse teams this season than in that tournament. And you could see, like, there was some fluid football. Like, there was something going on in the system. And Kunku was performing better. KDH was getting goals. We could see, like, Cole Palmer looks electric on the left, like, against Benfica. Like, we were seeing changes in the system and evolution in the team. And then to beat PSG, not just beat PSG, but beat PSG convincingly. I'm more convinced with that result against PSG, the best PSG team that I've seen in my lifetime, and also one of the best football teams in the world at that time. Man City wasn't the best football team in the world at that time, right? And the way we beat Man City also wasn't that convincing either. Like, we got 1-0 and we defended. We were defending for our lives at the end there. So that's why, like, there's context, and it just looks a little different, and it gives you a different opinion and a different picture.
Outlook. Yeah, but to try and say you can win the league is massive.
Well, I never
It's
said we could win the
38.
league.
Yeah, that's what I'm
and I
saying.
also don't think a majority of
Why
fans.
not? We can win the league.
No.
See, a lot. That's what I mean. You about to say. A lot of fans. You know this, Marshall. There's
A lot of fans wanted the challenge.
Content creators are like.
Listen, I don't care
quite
about the
a few.
challenge. Let me explain. There are 4 teams who can win the title. For the rest, they can also win, but it's more tougher. There is no guarantees that Arsenal or Liverpool are going to win. It's
Sure.
a very long season. It goes on for freaking whole year. So why we worried about this right now? Simple question is, can we win? Yes, we can win. So why are we losing right now? Who cares? We are losing 6th game. It's 38 games. When we will be closer to the end of the year, then we will look at it. But the fans are more interested right now, and then all the talks are about title challenge. Bloody freaking, that's next summer. Enjoy the football right now.
Like it's hard to
We're not
enjoy the football
patient.
right now. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like it's the patience aspect of it.
Yeah.
And to me, I still think we can technically be in a title race. I don't think the title race is over because a team can start hot and then dip off at the end of the season. Or they could be like us where we start shit and pick up as the season goes on. Like two things are very possible. I'm not going to write it off. I'm not a fortune teller. And I also don't think, like, people love to write off Chelsea all the time, and then Chelsea comes and proves them wrong. Like, especially last season. And on top of it, like, there is context, right? Someone said it in chat, like, injuries are a factor. Let's be honest. Like, I would have more faith against Liverpool if Fofana didn't have a concussion protocol. You know? If Tosin was available, or if Chalaba was available, you know? But it's one game, and I said in the beginning of the show, like, Chelsea are allowed to lose a game. No team is perfect. Otherwise, there'd be so much more undefeated teams across all of Europe than there has been in the history as of now, right? So for me, it's like, okay, we're starting off the season bad, but now it's on MARESCA, like, you got to turn it around. I personally believe we could still finish second. I don't think we're going to be in a title race because I think we're going to be tested between the fatigue of being in longer cup runs, being in the Champions League where there's also intention. You're not going to get away with this whole B team, A team in the Conference League thing anymore. You're going to have to play your best players, right? We do have a good squad depth, but it's going to be tested this season. And I don't think this is the first season where you're going to actually like feel, all right, we'll see how we go. Listen, DHL, you can laugh all you want, but we were laughing at the shitty results that Arsenal got last season and still ended up getting second.
Marshall, can I just...
Why is it different for us?
Can I come
We
in
haven't
with you?
shown we
Because
can do that.
I see a lot of this talk and conversation and the chat. I smell like
Arsenal were in a title
like
race last
Arsenal.
year either.
I smell like Arsenal. This is all Arsenal talk.
Sure.
It is Arsenal people who are always title challenge. Are we
I'm
on
just
it?
being
Are we
realistic. I
not
think we
in
can
it?
challenge for the title next
And
season,
then
JC.
Second again. I'm just, let's move on from this. Huh? This is all rubbish.
Wait,
We have a
Marshall.
whole year of football in front of it. Coming to your question about like 21, like the Champions League winning team, were they supposed to win the league? Probably. We identified we were missing a striker. Lukaku was purchased, and we were near the top in December.
Oh, wait, JC, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's another thing about this, right? Because CSU for Life, you also said it. You haven't seen a run of games that convinces you and all this stuff. Stats, baby. This is why I love stats. Okay. Chelsea's last 20 games, and this is from after... What game was it? After
January.
West Ham. After
Yeah,
West
yeah.
Ham. So the 20 games before West Ham, or before, what was the game after West Ham? I can't remember. Was it United? No, it was Brentford. No. Fuck, man, my memory's so shot, guys. Anyways, United, or West Ham, and then 20 games, 19 games before that, right? 2 losses, 1 draw. Everything else was a win. So that's why, going into the season, when I saw, Oh shit! Chelsea managed to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row before they drew to Crystal Palace. They managed to get 5 wins in a row before they lost to Newcastle. They got 4 wins in a row before they lost to Flamengo.
Okay, but where were we in the table?
Marshall, can I just? I want to.
It doesn't matter where we were in the table.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
No. It doesn't matter where we were in the table because the point is, I've seen Chelsea can string together 7 wins in a row in all tournaments.
I'll give you an example. If a team is 16th, right, and they win 8 games in a row, and they bump up from 16th to like 9th, are you going to then say they can win the league next season? Because
no, but we weren't 16th. We were in 4th for the majority of last season. We were in top 4 for the majority of last season.
Right?
We dipped out of top 4 maybe
June, December.
for 2 or 3 weeks in January.
Yeah, no, it went wrong in December against Everton because we could have went. If we beat Everton, we could have went top.
We were still in top 4 though, CFC.
Yeah, but my point is, we were doing this, but
Sure.
that isn't a title run form. You're going to say, we won this amount of games, which
Is it
shows
really
we can
that
then go and
interesting?
win the
All
league.
this talk is like Arsenal talk.
No, JC, I'm just trying to prove a point because it's like,
Yeah.
CFC, like, I know what you're saying, but okay, you don't have to use an example. Just use Chelsea. We were in 4th place when we made this run.
4th to where?
It wasn't in the Premier League, but it was in all tournaments.
Right.
So
we're gonna include the Conference League.
Let me.
We're gonna include the Conference League game.
Then I have to leave. Also, I don't want to be here for long.
Fair enough.
What I came online for, what I want to speak about is, look, this is just game week 6. Our fans have already gone through the euphoria of, like,
Sure.
we are winning the league. We are going to be in top 3. To we are nowhere. To MARESCA out. To again, okay, it's a disaster. It's just in 6 weeks. It has been directors out. It has been owners are rubbish. It has been like the project is working, or it is like fantastic again, or like bad window. Some give it 7th. It's like just in 6 weeks, all cycles going again and again. Nobody is enjoying football and nobody is supporting the team. When I look at the stadium, it's like a library, you know. Even last game and the game before, when we are winning, I can hear the losing team is making more noise than our football fans. Our football fans are busy more into like who's purchased, who's not, sporting directors, and the analysis looks more like, you know, like they don't have even patience to look at a video or YouTube video of 15 minutes. They are looking at like TikTok. Yeah, like people used to make the scouting reports on YouTube. Now they are making player judgments on TikTok videos. It looks like when people are judging and like, this player is bad, this is gone, this is like, the player has not even played more than 3 games for the team, and they are saying he's rubbish.
I agree.
So start enjoying football, man.
I think people just need to be patient because it wasn't too long ago, right? I said this yesterday. Cucurella was shit that one season we got him, and people wanted him out. And when you decide to wait, you start seeing, oh wait, he's actually getting better. I usually give players 2 seasons, and you guys are testing me, but I still do it. Like I push because like some players need longer to adapt than others. Some players need time to understand a system. Some players need time to understand the coaching and what the coaching is asking of them, what the system is asking of them. These are young players. And that's the unfortunate part. They're young players, right? So young players might take a little bit more time to understand. Some have it naturally. So when you start giving me these Estevals and Malo Gusto when he came in and all this stuff, sure. Some players can adapt naturally. The system suits them more. They don't have to adapt as much. They're just in their comfort zone. It works out that way sometimes, but not all the time. Look at Florian Wirtz, how much he's struggling right now in Arne Slot's system, right? Like some players take time to adapt. Do I think Florian Wirtz is going to be a flop? No, not really. I think he's going to turn it around. Eventually, we're going to see the Florian Wirtz that we saw at Leverkusen in a different system. So I think there is a catacomb of like patience that needs to be asked of from the fan base, but this fan base's patience has been tested because the last 3 seasons it's been a struggle, and I get that. I understand that completely.
So here was my rant about, and my request to especially English fans who say like proper chairs, proper chairs.
We won 2
Please.
trophies, DHL.
Please, if you're in the stadium, make the environment hostile. And for the non-proper chairs who are on the social media and international fans, stop criticizing left, right, and center, and stop looking at reasons to criticize where there are no reasons, and stop believing in TikTok videos, clips of player moments, and then judging them like he's so trash. He's so trash. I can give you a TikTok moment of Badiashile where he was bad yesterday, but after that moment he picked up brilliantly. There was a corner, like there was a play where like Badiashile had to clear it, just let it go out, or just help it go out. He put the ball, headed it back into the play with his back on the ball, and there was another shot. And it was just lucky that everything was crowded out. That was a stupid movement from him. But after that, he just picked up, and he finished the game very strongly. Football is not an exact science, and TikTok moments don't define a player, and one player does not define the whole team. It's a team game, and one game does not
Good for
define
them.
the whole
No
season.
European pedigree.
Yeah, and like losing 3 games does not mean we have lost the season itself already. Enjoy the game, man, and
Yeah.
fans, just please start being fans, supporting the team and enjoying the moment. Like, because when you are supporting, singing, dancing, and enjoying the moment, you are enjoying yourself as well. You are not getting stressed out.
That's true. Football becomes a lot more enjoyable to watch, and especially if you're backing the team and not backing certain agendas, like a lot of people seem to be out there. It's weird because at the end of the day, all this comes from like I'm trying to be optimistic while also grounded as to what we could potentially expect if this all goes according to plan, right? Obviously, there's going to be obstacles along the way. Obviously, there's going to be hiccups. But my point in what I was saying to CFC is that like I've seen MARESCA go on these runs. Whether it's against this team or that team, it doesn't fucking matter. I've seen us lose 5-2 to West Brom under Tuchel. I've seen us lose to worse teams. And I've seen Arsenal do the same thing. I've seen Man City do the same thing. I saw Man City get absolutely embarrassed by not Al Nasser. Is it Al Nasser? No. Al Hilal. Am I going to write them off? No, people are still thinking they're going to be favorites because they know there's good teams there. They have a good manager, a manager that can go on runs and adapt.
They won 4 leagues in a row.
Not with that team.
No, but they've got some of the players, right? It's not like they just come out of nowhere. First of all, they've got the manager, right? Secondly, they've shown for 4 years, prior to Liverpool just winning it last season, that they can do that. So to try and completely write off City would be mad. Obviously, they may not win it this year, but I'm just saying, to say that they couldn't do it is mad, because if they've shown, 4 seasons they could win it and then win a treble, then you can't write off City just like that. So
and
it's
CFC,
different.
that's my point. Because I've seen this team win trophies when I've seen other teams get to finals and capitulate. This very same team I've seen go to finals and capitulate against Liverpool children. When I can see this team go against the Betis, right? Which, say what you want about Betis. At the end of the day, we beat them. People were saying we're going to lose to them, mentality, all that stuff. Again, we've seen this team lose to lesser teams than Betis, right? And they won. I've seen this team go against PSG, one-off game, whatever. But there was a whole tournament before that they were beating teams that were beating other teams that PSG, that were beating like the likes of PSG and putting upsets up there, right? I've seen them get to a final and then beat PSG. So they've shown me, okay, there's something there. Why am I going to write off my team now after 6 games?
No, you're not writing us off.
General is unpredictable.
No, but that's what you said. Like, it would be stupid to write off Man City because they have history,
No,
right?
but
With
can't
treble
compare.
and all that stuff. I get that. I'm not comparing it, but I'm just saying, like,
but
there's
you are.
proof in the pudding, right?
Nah,
And I'm
there's
saying there's
different
also proof in the pudding with
different-
Chelsea. They've gone
No.
to top 4 when they were not favorable to, right? People were saying Newcastle's going to get it ahead of them. And that's the thing. We could have gone 5th. We got 4th.
You're talking about You're talking about a conference.
Talking
league
about winning a trophy in Europe in
Yeah,
Conference League, no matter if you want to rate it or not, it's still a
Ham won it.
final.
Yeah, but my point is, West Ham won it, right?
Yes.
The next season, what did they do? They fell off a cliff near enough, right? So winning
So
the
do you
conference
think we
league.
should also fall off?
So you think we're
No,
going
I'm
to fall
not
off a
saying that.
cliff?
No, I didn't say that. So I'm saying
Okay.
winning
Why are you worried about
conference.
this?
So I'm saying winning the Conference League and Man City winning the league 4 years in a row is completely different because you're winning the best trophy you're winning the biggest trophy, and then you won the treble. So then you won the Champions
Here's my
League
thing.
and the
Here's
Premier
my
League.
thing with this statement.
You're showing that you can
My
win
problem with
domestic.
your statement. First of all, saying some trophy is the biggest trophy is subjective. For you, that might be, but for the rest, it might not be. Secondly, City has won it 4 times in a row. They put in the hard effort in that, and they sustained it with a stable team. And then there was a drop off because that team became old. We are not even in the first year, so stop talking about 4 years and comparing and then hoping and then being disgusted or miserable because we are not there.
That's what Marshall's saying.
It's something again. You are building bridges where you shouldn't be worried about. You should be worried about live more now.
And that I get what JC is saying. My point is just okay.
Yeah, DHL,
again,
just a second. DHL, yes, it's very subjective.
Whether you
Champions League for me
rate
is
the
bigger
Conference
than
League,
European, English Premier League.
whether you rate the Conference League or not, I don't care. You need to win trophies.
Well, so are you trying to tell me winning the Conference League is what? Are you trying to say that's a springboard into winning the league? Are you saying what?
It is a springboard into knowing what it's like to win and being able to get the finals and having the mentality to win the final.
Okay, so does that
CFC
mean
for life? Tell me.
Premier League?
Success is addictive.
First of all, I'm not saying we're going to win the Premier League. You already know. I think we're going to finish second.
Success is addictive. Winning 2 trophies gives them a taste.
But what I'm trying to say, JC, is that this example, right? That my whole point was that before you were saying, oh yeah, Man City won 4 in a row. That's why it'd be silly to write them off. Why am I writing off Chelsea after winning 2 trophies and finishing in top 4 last season when everyone was saying we weren't going to do any of that?
No, you're not writing us off. No one's saying
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
No one's saying to write us off though. No one's saying.
But that's why when I'm not writing them off and I say we're going to finish second, I still think we're going to finish second, but I don't think we're going to be in a title race. Kind of like how Arsenal finished second last season and weren't in a... No, because Arsenal finished second last season and weren't in the title race in January.
Okay, so what's the point of finishing second, but not... Like, what does that do for us? Do you get what I mean? Like,
it shows progress.
So many judgments. Like second, now you're already so miserable because somebody thinks like we might finish second, so you are already miserable. We have not finished second, boy.
No one's miserable.
We will be. It can also be like we will be roundabout there, and if we get a chance to grab the trophy, we grab it. But
okay, just entertain JC's thought. Just entertain JC's thought.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna write off the fact that we can win the league. Right? Just entertain his thought. It's not what I believe, right? I'm not going to write it off. It's too early to write it off.
Yeah, of course.
My point in saying all this is just that, okay, let's see how the season plays out.
Precisely.
To your question, what is the point of finishing second? If I'm to believe the stats, the facts, and the trend, 12th, 6th, 4th, 2nd, and this is what I believe now, next season, I want to go for the league. And if we don't go for the league, it'll be a disappointment for me. And then at that point, I'm thinking MARESCA probably is not the guy. We need to fire the directors. This is their plan. It failed. Owners, you need to see that and take action and bring in someone that can actually fulfill on their promises. You see how now my point of view changes. I'm willing to let the plan play out before I decide to be MARESCA out, directors. Oh, I am directors out regardless, but all this and that. My opinions are willing to change based on what happens, right? And as much as Vic says here, I'm gonna backpedal. Listen, it's based off of the fact that like if it looks like it's not gonna be good, I'm gonna sit here and tell you like, guys, it ain't look like we're gonna even finish top 4. Like if it looks like we're gonna get relegated, guys, I think we're gonna get relegated.
No. I will give you a prompt there. You were not Poch out until January when we were mathematically out of everything and we were playing.
I was Poch out after
bad
Manchester
week after
United, so you're not
Yeah.
wrong entirely. Yeah,
So it took people like
that
I
pissed
don't
me
know,
off.
7 months of season when everything.
We were
was
also
really
like
almost
8th
over.
or 10th. This is not acceptable.
Yeah.
No, but
Whereas
Marshall,
last season, at least we were, in top 4 for most of it.
why can't we? Because you say like you sound so like defeated. You say, "Oh, we're gonna finish second, but then we're not gonna be in a title race." So
The reason I think we're going to
Yeah,
finish
what
second.
makes
Just guessing, man. He's just guessing.
yeah,
Well,
of
I'm
course,
just-
everything's
obviously it's a
guess.
prediction,
Nobody,
right? Yeah.
Obviously,
The reason-
nobody knows anything.
The reason why I say we're going to finish second is because, like what you said earlier, other teams are bolstering, and if Liverpool didn't fucking get Isak, I would have put us for winning the league. But Liverpool got Isak, and I think that's a big factor. Now,
Wow.
none of
So
us predicted that they were going to look this shit.
Wait, so you just said if they didn't get Isak, you
Yes.
thought we would win the league just because
Yeah.
they've got Isak. That now means that they are now guaranteed to win it. But if they didn't, we was the front runners.
Marshall, you had this
Wow.
call-in
Wow.
show.
That's how much
before
faith
the
I have in my
season.
team, man.
What?
And if I was wrong, I was
no,
wrong. But at
no,
least,
no,
like,
no,
fuck
no,
it.
no,
What,
No. You
what-
put it out there. That's fine. I didn't know
Yeah,
that. I
don't
didn't know
care.
that.
Like, listen, this is one thing. Everyone that listens to this show, as much as you want to laugh at me and my takes and all this stuff, you did this last season, and then I ended up being right. As much as you want to laugh at my takes and all this and that, I genuinely don't care what you think of my opinions.
Yeah,
Like,
when-
I am
no.
always going to say what I think I believe in, and if we have a discussion on it, and if you want to disagree, that's what this show is for, right? That's why me and CFC are going back and forth, because he thinks something different than I do. I like having these discussions. I invite them
same.
because
That's
I like
football,
having
though,
a
innit?
different
But
perspective.
that's what football's
And it's
about.
football, and
Yeah.
football is also very unpredictable at times. And
Yeah.
the reason I bring this all up because I remember when City got Haaland, I was like, it's done, it's done. Although, to be fair, actually, I still thought we could win the league because we got Lukaku, but Lukaku ended up not being the Lukaku we thought he was, and City
Both our
and Haaland
wingbacks
just
got injured,
took
huh?
off. Yeah, our wingbacks completely destabilized our season as well, and then Haaland just did what Haaland did. So that's like a big factor. After that season, when you bring in someone like a Haaland, which I think Isak is like, he's not Haaland, but he's like that kind of an impact signing of a striker. Yeah, I think that's a big factor, and I think that changes my
Normally,
prediction.
I would say is as just like managers say, one game at a time for the players. It should be the same for the fans. One game at a time. Enjoy the
Sure.
game.
Yeah, but what fan does that in any team they support? Look at every single team. All
Probably
the big
baseball
teams.
fans, to be honest, because it's such a
I
long
think
season.
Yeah,
Listen,
no
listen,
football
I will
fan
tell
really
you.
does that.
I'll tell you, so many fans. You go all over Europe, so many fans whose teams do not win every week. So many fans of different countries.
Yeah,
Losing or
I mean,
winning, they are still supporting.
It is a
and
Chelsea
they're
thing
enjoying.
too, right?
Yeah, but we support our club. No one would you like.
Sure.
Let's not
So
act
you,
like we don't.
but you still enjoy the game. You
course
still
we
enjoy
do.
the sport.
Everyone does. Like that's why we come back. That's why we watch our team week in, week out. That's why we go to the games. We know we get bad results all the time. That's football. You're not going to win every game, but
No,
we
you
witness.
enjoy the result. I didn't say enjoy the result.
I
said
didn't think we would win the Club
enjoy
World
the
Cup,
game.
DHL.
Yeah, no, of course you enjoy the game because that's why we love it, right? We go to watch a game every single week or twice a week whenever we're playing. That's what we are. We're fans. We've gone through the Potter days. It was bad under Potter, but you've seen us
Yeah.
week after week, every time coming on Marshall's show talking about it, how bad it was.
I think what JC is saying, like, if you supported, let's say, for example, Crystal Palace, right now you'd be on a high horse. Even last season, just winning that FA Cup. Look at Newcastle fans. How long they've been irrelevant for, right? And I think they've been able to enjoy these last 3 seasons since the takeover because, it's just Newcastle. Obviously, us as Chelsea fans, because we're used to top 4, because we're used to winning trophies, because we're used to competing to the league. Well, not really anymore, but because we're used to being at that level, yes, when we
That's what
lose and
happens.
we're not at that
Yeah.
level, we do, you know,
Big
we get
clubs are like
spoiled.
that. Yes, but if
You
you look
know,
at Real
like,
Madrid,
yeah.
they'll be the same. PSG will
Exactly,
be the same.
exactly.
Look at Man United. Look where they are now. Look at.
But if
their
you take
fans.
away expectations, you can enjoy the football. But
Oh,
that I know
yeah.
it's a different.
Yeah,
That's a whole
just-
different.
Yeah.
just don't look at the scorecard only. Look at the football. Look at the
Yeah.
football being played on the pitch.
We don't play good football.
I think we do, but we've been struggling.
Really? Apart from the West Ham game, are you? What have you seen?
Name the
I
game. I will
think-
give you the full story of the game, which I can bet 99% of the channels have not even spoken about the
Well,
game.
I'll say this before JC because mine's pretty short. I think part of what's hurting us is the inavailability of a Badiashile, a Tosin, or a Kowal that can dictate from the back, and I'm noticing it more and more. I know if JP's watching this, he's gonna be like, "Ha, I told you, yeah, okay, you were right, I get it." It makes a big difference, and I think what's hurting us more in terms of the football is the fact that other teams understand our weak point is our center backs, and they just shoot a long ball at that center back. They make mistakes, and we get fucked.
What about when we're on
And
the ball, though, Marshall?
when
Yeah,
we're on
you're
the ball,
right.
I think we're fine.
No, but
I don't mind it.
We're not playing. You see, when we played PSG,
Hey, big up,
Right.
Ahmed.
Big up Daisy, how you doing, boys?
that was beautiful football.
Yes,
so we're not.
but the thing
we're
is,
not playing
CFC,
that
not
free-flowing
not
football.
everyone is going to press us like PSG presses us, right? Because
That's
PSG,
That's not true. We got.
no,
we've been
hold
getting
up. That PSG, and Ahmed, maybe you could back me on this. That PSG side had a fucking killer Gegenpress, which is what helped them tremendously in that final. Dembele was ferocious, and what we did was, for one, expose their high line, and on that day Sanchez was on point, Colwell was on point. Like, these guys were pulling off passes that we tried to do against Bayern and it didn't play out, right?
Not
We
even
were
that,
playing
though.
differently, but we were playing differently in that game for that game.
Okay, if I take PSG out of the equation,
Sure.
when we even start, if we go at the start of the season, do you not remember the football we were playing at the start of the season?
That was Pochettino ball.
No, I'm talking about Maresca. Maresca.
Oh, I mean, it was a transition period. Listen, I said this in the beginning of the show, CFC. At the end of the day, I'm not really that concerned about the football. I want the result. But as long as the football from time to time looks nice, that's good. That's a bonus. Like JC
You know what I
says.
would say? You know what I would say? Nah,
a
I've
hard
listened
one.
to. I was actually listening to the stream, so I had to comment because Marshall,
Fan.
I had to
Yeah.
disagree. I had to disagree with you.
Yeah, it's fine. You could disagree,
But
man.
there's like one thing. I think in terms of like the actual football we play, I think this predominantly the issue is just I think the guys that we have as tens. I think that's our problem right now. I think more than anything else, right? Listen,
creativity. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I agree with you with, right? I think Bernotte, what if I will give him credit for? He's good at connecting. I think the thing with him, because he's very inexperienced, he's lacking then the final ball. For example, Bernotte is a good example of that, right? Obviously, Palmer for me, I just don't think he works in that 10 role because again, I think his ability to connect isn't as good as Bernotte, and ironically, a couple of them saying that. Right? Yeah, he's a good. Of course, Palmer has a good final ball on him in order to be able to find a player, but I don't think he's able to connect as well, if that makes sense to you. And plus, he's always got like at least 2 players on him. I think the thing for me also is that with Enzo's another one where Maresca's basically changed him into a box crasher, right? So he's not really doing the creative thing. Like if we were also being fair, so he's kind of hampered the system here. If you use an Enzo and then, for example, an experienced Bernotte. That's why again, I know the club was looking at Javi Simon and some of these guys. This is why you have to bring those guys in, because if you don't bring those guys in, those are the type of guys that you need who then can give you provided that final ball, rather than using someone like of course, a Facundo Bernotte, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. And I think the point about the PSG game that I think CFC for Life is making is that that's actually one of the few games, and you saw it also in the Man City game when we played him in the Etihad. We can at times, when our squad is at full strength, produce a good press, right? And I actually think that is actually usually worked to our benefit. But I think this season, you're not going to be able to do it as much because a lot of our players have played a lot of games beforehand. You got Club World Cup that they played beforehand, which Marshall knows my views upon quite well, right? In terms of I did not want to play that competition as little as possible. But either way, that is going to have an effect on you. You're missing players now as well, Marshall, and also some of your star players are probably playing with injury, which is not helpful either, right? I don't know if you saw.
That's football. That's football. In
No.
general.
We're not doing that, Marshall.
It is.
You're not doing that,
It
Marshall,
is.
because you.
Rodri was playing with injury this season, and he finally just said, "You know what? I can't do it anymore."
Yes, and people see he couldn't do it anymore, and that's a good key thing.
Yeah, but
you know, people.
do it.
We have been critical. We have been critical, for example, of some of our own players' performances, right? I've been critical of Enzo performances. You find out he's got an injury, right? That's for example. I say though, we've noticed a natural dip, obviously, with his own performances too. So I think it's wrong of us to say that it's wrong of me, in my personal opinion, for us to say, right? Yes, you know, these guys are amazing players, but we should also recognize when these guys are also kind of cooked. Right?
No, I understand that, and I totally get that.
That's my viewpoint. At the very least.
I just want to point out the reality of sports is that a lot of players play through injury. It's just true. Michael Jordan is the prime example. I forget what his injury was, but he played that Chicago Bulls finals with an injury. LeBron, I'm pretty sure he's playing with an injury.
He was legit ill, man, Marshall. That's the difference. Okay.
Oh, he was ill. But that's the thing. It happens. Players play through illness or injury.
But he's playing through a knee injury, Marshall. Because I
get it. I understand. I understand, and it's risky.
Resting and controlling the defensive structure of the Caicedo, you mean, right? And I just wanted to add about Enzo, because there are a lot of, like, just you mentioned Enzo, that's why I want to add it, because I can put so many description of how players are doing different roles within the team. I can write essays if you want, but there's not enough time. But I'll just mention for Enzo very quickly.
Exactly.
Enzo is, as a box crasher definition, is also wrong. Enzo always, last season also, has been playing when we are in an attacking phase on the left half space, when Palmer is on the right half space. And if Palmer is going under pressure, Enzo exploits this and attracts. It's like a counterbalance all the time. Yesterday's game, I will give you an example. He had Caicedo injured, and our tactic was to have long cross balls, like the right side, right back or right central back, giving ball over the top to Gittins, and from the left, Badiashile giving to Neto. That was the way we were pressing and opening and going behind their defense. For that to happen, Cucurella had to be with Gittins. And if you noticed, he was not crashing the box when Cucurella was up front. He was besides Caicedo. He was even dropping back. Every time you saw Cucurella go up, Enzo was back. For the goal, which was an own goal, you had Enzo as box crashing. Then at the time when we were not going through Caicedo, he was injured. That's why we were using long balls.
Exactly.
So Enzo was using that window, and Enzo was, when he was in the middle of the pitch, if you looked at him, he was always scanning, like head was turning 360 degrees. Who is where? The guy reads the game, and he is like a heartbeat of that team. Yesterday he was. He is not a box crasher. He crashed box yesterday. Yes, he did. He helped with the build-up. Yes, he did. Moreover, when Caicedo. And it's not just him. I can tell you so much about every player. Every player is doing good things. But that's football. Sometimes things don't work out. And what I feel regret about is some of the people who are just taking, like, it's either Enzo or Santos. No, both of them are good. Santos is also a fantastic player. And the worst part is, then there start debates. Why is Enzo starting? Why is not this player starting? Enjoy the football, man. Don't be a manager. Be a fan.
What I would say to that, I don't listen. I think for me with Santos, it's a developmental season. I said this for a lot of these players. A lot of our players are young players that need to develop this season. That's why I know Marshall saying we can finish second. I'm not of that belief. I think we probably will finish third or fourth place. But I think the main aim of this season has to be, if you're bringing a lot of players you've got, they have to develop, bro. Again, because that's what the club has put us in, and that's what I have to see. I have to be seeing Gittins somewhat develop. If he can't develop, it is what it is. You have to move on from him. Same with Garnacho, Andre Santos, etc. All these other guys that you've got, right? That's the aim of the game. That's why for me, this season I've been less critical about our losses, because I've been more critical on Maresca trying to put in some of these younger guys in, because that's the guys that we have right now, bro. There's no point in me, complaining if Enzo's injured, for example. Listen, bring understand. I don't obviously he's injured, right? Obviously, but I'm using it as a generative argument, for example, right? That's what I'm trying to say. I just think for me, I've said this before, and I think I've heard Gabriel also speaking about this too. I think there's this major disconnect. I've always said this before, between what I like to call the fan perspective, right? And then I think what is the current club perspective, right? In terms of what is the team, what is the makeup. I think rightly so. I'm gonna say this is a rightly so. When you spend 1.5 billion pounds, whether you like to admit or not, Marshall, people are expecting for you to either be winning the league, or at bare minimum, you're going neck and neck for the league under UCL. If we're being fair, right? Fair and honest about what we are doing right now. But the problem has been obviously that some of that money has not been spent well. Obviously, we had a first season without directors, right? And everything that's occurred. You've then obviously had these last 3 seasons that has occurred as well, right? And in terms of building up the team. And so, you're in this situation where I feel like for a lot of fans this season, they were thinking we're going to be competing and winning the league. But if you look at it, take a step back here, remove your Chelsea bias goggles, just like I did. You look at the guys you've signed, these are guys that are not going to make you win the league this season, bro. If we're being fair to ourselves, keeping it real. Yes, keeping it real and being fair to ourselves, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. Delap is not winning me the league this season in his current state, right? João Pedro, he may contribute to a team winning the league, but I don't think he's gonna contribute to us winning the league right now, right? Gittins the same, Garnacho the same, Andre Santos, he's my guy. I love to watch French league football, bro. I will praise him to the moon, but he's not ready right now either. Pacho's the same. Achempong, who we're trying to integrate into the team, is the same. So this is what I talk about. It's great that you've got players that have tasted gold, right? From the conference, like some of the players that exist here. But the thing is, yes, you've got some of that group, but you also got this now a large contingent of the group, right? Which is also inexperienced again, right? So that's the problem that you kind of got right now, if that makes sense. That's why I always say, Marshall, you know my thoughts. If they should have tweaked the system a little bit to allow some of these transfers to be more experienced, right? Combined with the current experience you have, because that's obviously the one that makes sense at the very least.
And listen, at the end of the day, like I never stated, by the way, I never stated that we're going to win the league this season. And I said, Isak was a game changer. If Isak didn't go to Liverpool, then I would have put myself out there and said, "Fuck it, like this." Yeah. Cue in like that. That's crazy. I said Isak and he cued in. So that's like a big difference maker, because I don't believe in this myth that, oh, you have to have every piece of the puzzle ready to challenge. I know you're not saying that, Ahmed, but a lot of fans think this way. A lot of fans think, oh, we can't even challenge for the league with Rob Sanchez. Yet, 3 seasons ago, I saw Arsenal challenge a league when no one expected them to, with fucking Aaron Ramsdale, who is it? Where is he right now? Southampton right now?
It's never perfect.
He's at Newcastle alone.
No team is ever perfect.
He's a Newcastle. No, I even know. So
Marshall,
he was
no
booty cheeks, right?
Yeah.
And again, Levi Colwell, there's context to that as well. Like, I didn't think he was a world beater, but people now make it seem like, oh, without Levi Colwell, we're done. It's like, no, the drop-off isn't that big. It's not like losing Van Dijk. And I think every team still has deficiencies. We're looking at, for example, right now with Liverpool, god damn, defensively, they look horrendous. But people still think they're going to win the league. Why?
Why? Yes,
there's
that's a
factors.
good question. You asked the question, but
They
we know
just
what the
done it.
answer is.
They've just
But
won the
no.
league.
It's not just that they've just done it. CFC for life. I think he said, but there's a better answer to say this. It's a word beginning with Q. It's just quality, right? You
Yeah.
have to look at the quality that we have and the quality they have.
And we don't have to say.
Their quality is, but I would say for quite a bit of them is already polished. We have a lot. The best time I'm going to use here is that a lot of our quality is still unpolished gems. They're not polished enough right now. They're not obviously the finished article. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. That's what I'm using on that thing. That's all it is.
Look at their goalkeeper, Alisson.
Oh my god.
He's compared to our goalkeeper. Look at Van Dijk. We don't have a Van Dijk. We don't even have a Konate. They had Trent before, who was a completely different type of right back. Yeah, not good defensively, but do you amount of goals he created playing that right back? And then they got Salah, which speaks for itself. He was just doing unbelievable things. Yeah, we have Cole Palmer, we have Caicedo, but we need a bit more. We need a few
I
more
don't
game
want to
changes.
get into Sanchez debate,
No, we don't need to get Sanchez, bro. But I think the overall point, JC, I
a
think
lot of assumptions,
Look who
a
joined.
lot of assumptions.
Yeah, that's
Look
right.
who
It's a
joined.
call-in show, so I'm gonna click the link.
wow,
Put
look
it
who's
out
joining
there.
us. Why are you
You're
us,
gonna,
bro?
you're gonna put it out there. I'm gonna click it. It's that simple. It's
Yeah,
that
it is.
simple.
Yeah. But I mean, Das, I guess I'll put it off to you. Did you think last season your team was complete enough to even win that league?
Salah carried it.
I don't know. That's like a trick question. Like were we complete enough? I think that we deserved to win the league. I think that we played very good football in the first 6 months of the campaign. I think that we struggled in the second 6 months, but teams respected us and they didn't take advantage, and we were able to get the points over the line while Arsenal were dragging their feet in the league. I think it could have been more competitive, but I do think that we played a different football. Like we played completely differently in 2024 than we have in 2025, and we saw the turn in January. And during my rant of a stream, I even went over the results, and I was like, shit game, good result, shit game, good result, good game, good result, shit game, shit result. It was just a cycle. But I mean, like the difference this year is that Arne Slot has his head in his fucking ass. Like that's the difference. Like we're playing what I call vagina ball, where we have a back five, right? So it's our back four and Ryan Gravenberch or Dominic Szoboszlai or Florian Wirtz, and then we have a front five at the opposing 18-yard box standing still, and there's a giant gaping hole in the middle, aka why I call it vagina ball.
That's Pochettino ball.
So I don't think it's about anything other than the manager losing the plot, doing the same thing week in, week out, and like you said, our defense is bad, and I think that that's so disingenuous because it's not bad. It's not our defense. If Chelsea were playing the game at a pace of 1 out of 10, and then all of a sudden they turn the ball over and the pace of the game switches from a 1 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10, do you think your players would be able to consistently go from 1 to 10 for 90 minutes? No, because it's disrupting the rhythm. It's disrupting the pattern. And so our possession style, which is lazy and slow, we turn it over up the field, and then we're caught off guard because everyone's been moving so slow for the last 45 minutes. And then we look like shit because someone gets exposed, and then we blame the individual, but we don't look at the root cause of the problem. It's like complaining that your leg is hurting, but you're not going to the doctor to figure out that your leg is fucking broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I get that. I guess my point in even asking you that was more so because I think expectations for Chelsea in the beginning of the season, at least for me, were that I think we can go for a title challenge. I don't think we need to have the best center back, the best goalkeeper to do that. I think multiple teams have proven in the past, and even recent past, that they don't have everything set up to challenge. Arsenal is the prime example of that. And I don't want to be Arsenal, obviously, but like Arsenal had Ramsdale. They didn't have a striker. They didn't have a very good attack. In fact, Martinelli carried them, but Martinelli hasn't been that Martinelli since then. Like, it's just they didn't have the complete team, but yet they were able to compete. I don't think last season, the beginning of last season, obviously Mo Salah being one of the best players in the world is a big factor, and Virgil van Dijk also being one of the best players in the world, ALISSON being the best player in the world, or best goalkeeper in the world. Like, those play a factor, right? But
Massive.
look at that Liverpool team in the beginning of last season with a new manager. Think, yeah, these guys are ready to compete.
I'll tell you why I thought so. Yeah, the season
Sure.
before they won it. Yeah, they got to game week 30, and Liverpool were top under Klopp, right? Game week 30. So that showed me that they had the potential, because if Chelsea got to game week 30 this season, yeah, and we was first, yeah, and then we lost the league within the 8 games to go. The next season, I'm definitely going to say we're ready because we've got to game week 30, and not even just that. They've got players that have won the league before, so they know what it takes, right? So if you've got guys that know what it takes to do it, then that means something. So that's why I looked at everything and I thought, okay, they've showed that they can get there. They've done it before. The manager's done it before. Also, I even forgot about that. The manager's even done it. He's shown that he can go 16, 17, 18 games. He's shown that he can beat Man City at their own game and actually win it.
And I get that. And I'm glad you brought that up because even Das will back me on this. Even though you're saying, up to game week 30, they were showing, they were competing, and they were up there.
I think they were first.
I think maybe they were at one point they were first, but
yeah, they were.
Das will tell you. Das will tell you they were struggling in a lot of those games.
Yeah,
so
and then they finally burnt out.
But so
I think it was a combination of.
Not City.
I'm pretty sure City had a game in hand at a certain point. So like, technically we were in first, but we also, like, if you look at the end of that season, we were producing like 30 shots a game and we were not scoring. So it's like we were struggling in front of goal.
Yeah.
And it was conflicted. Like, yes, I mean, if you look at that Crystal Palace game, if you look at that United FA Cup game, like we had like 33 shots on goal in that United FA Cup game. We should have easily won that game 4-1 before they had the opportunity to tie it. We just weren't putting things away. We lost our edge. And then the following season, we had that edge. We were able to put up the most.
And no one expected it. Considering how last season went.
28 goals with Darwin fucking Nunes and Diogo Jota, rest in peace.
Christ, that's a good point, actually.
But Jota, he didn't play a lot. Like he missed huge spells of that season. Trent missed huge spells of that season. Konate was out for a little bit. We were more solid. We were more confident. And teams were more afraid of us. And then we had that clinical edge on the opposite field. I just think that Chelsea, I just think that at times you guys aren't playing to your weaknesses. And I think that MARESCA needs to figure out how to do that. Like how can you prevent your center backs from being isolated in one-on-ones and lose aerial duels? Well, I can do that by not being so expansive in possession. I can do that by not driving up the field with all of my players. I can do that with being a little bit more conservative in larger spells of the game and then hitting you on the counter. Well, if my center backs suck, why don't I just make sure that my holding midfielders are closer to them? Why do I make sure that how about I make sure that an overhead ball doesn't lead to a one-on-one? So like obviously that's not like possible in 100%, but I think that Chelsea attacking wise have more than enough talent. I just think that they're not playing to that weakness. And also, you can't keep 11 men on the pitch. Like you have had a red card for 4 straight games. Like how are you supposed to fucking analyze this team?
Three. No, it's true. It's true.
All competitions, I thought.
No. The last, I think the fact was
Lincoln didn't get a man sent off.
No. I think the stat was that in 4 out of the last 5 defeats, 4 of them were with red cards involved.
Okay, yeah.
So Flamengo, Newcastle, this
how
one.
How are you supposed to analyze the team like that? Like you're analyzing 10 men. Like what are we doing here? If you didn't go down a man against Brighton, they probably would not have gotten back in that game the way that they did.
Yeah, we were comfortable. In that Brighton game. First half, we were fine until we got they started to come back a little bit, but until we got the red card, it completely changed it. Just like the Man United game, it happened
which
too early.
Which it should. It should completely ruin your game.
But I have to look at the manager for some things because he went way too defensive in the Man United game. He takes off all our best attackers, panics. Now, I'm not getting at him too much, but I'm just looking at my manager to say, don't panic like that. Yeah, we went down, but
it's the 6th minute though. It's like I get in hindsight. I get that in hindsight you can make that argument, but if Man United don't score that second goal and Bruno Fernandes happens to be offside, are we having this? Are we having this same conversation? Hopefully the margin for that criticism.
You're talking about. really, because we had a lot left to play. So if you take all our attacking options off and you only leave João Pedro up by himself, that makes no sense. Whereas you could have took off Palmer because he said he was already injured. So why not just take off Palmer, and then for a goalkeeper, you change Palmer, right? You keep Neto on, but why do you then you don't need to take Neto? And who else did he take off? He took off another winger. I forgot who else he took off. Esteval, exactly, right? So you take off 2 wingers, or basically all 3 of our attacking players, and then you've just got João Pedro up there on his own. So for me, it's like you didn't have to go ultra defensive. You could at least leave Neto on, or you could at least, you could have changed it a little bit. I just feel like he changed it way too much. You're only 1-0 down to Man United. Let's not shit the bed straight away. Give it a chance.
Do you know what that comes down to again? I think this comes down to, again, I think, I've said this multiple times on this channel, if you've watched it, is that, again, he doesn't trust the guys on the bench. And again, that's a fundamental problem where, again, I just look at that and I'm just like, that's why I critique him heavily. You signed a contract, big man. You're the one that said, I don't care who you bring in, I'm willing to accept it. As long as it suits, the play style that I'm asking for. Because again, these managers can only ask for players which work for them in their style of play, right? That's the type of thing they ask for, and then they bring them the players. Now,
do you know what he even said as well, Maresca? In his press conference, he even admitted that he made a mistake doing that, being a bit too defensive.
But Ahmad, if you look at like last season, before this United fiasco, he played against a must-win game against Newcastle. Went 1 man down, and he was trying to play attacking football. We dominated the game, but we still lost the game. Again, it happened with Flamengo. We went 1 man down. We again tried to attack. We dominated the game, but we still lost it. So against United, when we were still not losing, this time he went ultra defensive. And that was a mistake. But it's just game week 5 or 4. And if he makes an error, I rather see those errors and experiments now than in week 30.
I don't think he's experimenting though. I think, listen, the thing for me is that I would have agreed with you if you had said that in year 1. I think in this season, he's a lot more experience. He's got the Premier League know-how. I really don't believe he's experimenting this season.
He just made an error.
I generally just think that he felt like, he couldn't trust his back line.
We all said like that was an error, and he himself said, "Yes, I made an error. I'm still learning myself as well." So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can give that argument to him personally, but that's just me.
But it's okay to critique the manager, right? It doesn't mean we want him out. It doesn't mean we hate him. It's just okay to bring that up because that's just something we noticed, and hopefully he's learned from that now and doesn't do that again.
I just think that if I were a Chelsea fan, I would be saying that patience is the key. Like right now,
you're not a Chelsea fan then, because say that.
That's what I've been saying though.
That's why you're not a Chelsea fan.
No, you're right. But like realistically speaking, you guys won a tournament in the summer against great teams, but it's a tournament. Right, it takes place over 3 weeks, not 9 months. So completely different sport. You guys have started this season a little bit slow. You've had indiscipline pretty much cut you down for 3 straight games. You're not in a position where anyone is realistically sitting here and saying we're better than Liverpool, we're better than Arsenal, we're better than City.
Marshall.
I mean, if someone wants to say that, that's fine. But like,
Marshall,
not in current form, no.
Factually speaking, right now, the way that you guys are playing, you're not. And so you're thinking to yourself, okay, how far am I off of top 4? And do I feel? Oh, that's a terrible error. God, do I feel like? Sorry, I'm watching the Yankees game and I absolutely hate them. But do I feel like we're going backwards? I don't think that Chelsea's going backwards, and I think that it's going to be a slow progression. Like you got to go from 6th to 4th, and then from 4th to 2nd, and then from 2nd to 1st. It's very rare that a team is just going to go from 6th to first. Like you
We've
gotta
done that.
go.
Chelsea have done that.
You know what
You
kills
gotta-
me? You
You
know what
gotta
kills me,
go
Doc?
step by step.
You're a Liverpool fan, and you're saying this.
The problem is,
I was saying this in the beginning of the show, and you have DHL laughing at me in the comments. And it's
Nah,
I'm
nah,
just
nah.
saying,
no,
guys.
you can't do that, Marshall. Because you know
No,
what
hold
I'm
on, You are the only-
Very last point.
who's
Ahmed.
called out as
Let
delusional.
Dots finish his point, and Ahmed.
Very. My only here's the differentiator, right? I'm
Sure.
talking about just expectation. Like, yes, obviously, if you guys go on a run and you win the league, great. But like, that's like the cherry on top of the beautiful sundae that you already got. Like, you're talking about the addition. The expectation is there so that you understand where your floor is. And as long as you're meeting your floor, like, you have to keep yourself grounded and you have to realize, like, okay, I am technically where I'm supposed to be. I'm not failing, but I feel like I could do better, which is natural. So, like, yes, Chelsea could go from fucking 6th to winning the league, but like, to have those expectations 7 weeks into a season is just like insanity.
Yes, the thing for me is, and I've said this before, I feel like Marshall can't say that because Marshall said we're competing and going for second, right? I've always said that we're finishing probably the 3rd or 4th with the hope that you're also developing the current crop of players that have been added to the squad. That's, I think, a lot more realistic.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I will say just one thing. Like, it's match day 7. Let's not worry about like where we will finish and like
Exactly,
enjoy the journey.
You guys have nothing to worry about. You're about to cook the shit out of my team. This all good. It's all good. It's gonna be an Arnie slot fillet with a side of butter and some garlic. It's
the other thing you need to realize, Darcia, is that also, you know, I'm probably the realist Chelsea fan. Well, maybe see if you saw I include that into that too, unironically. Yeah, realist in terms of like, I understand where my club is at, but you need to understand when you spent 1.5 billion. Let's be realistic, yeah. A lot of guys are expecting to win the title, bro. I swear to you, I don't think Marshall understands.
I understand.
Like,
no, but I understand.
No. But like, when I go to the match going fans, for example, right, and stuff like that, right. And a lot of these other guys, bro, right. These guys are coming just off an era where their expectation was always to win titles. I understand towards the latter years that was not happening, right? Marshall knows that I mean, right? But they are expecting a title win every single season, bro. That's what it means. Right, and so like the whole thing is like it's different, bro. I'm not MARESCA out, man. Can you stop doing this gimmick, please?
The old fans are gonna
go ahead.
Yeah, the old fans, they're gonna think like that because they've been from the Mourinho, watching him win it 3 times. They've been it through the contest. So they're always gonna. It's like Man United fans. They get giddy so much. If your Man United was second at the moment, they'll think they're going to win the league because they're used to that, right? So that's what you're going to get from the old school fans. But trying to be realistic and be like, because Marshall, you said if Liverpool didn't get Isak, we're the front runners. So then that's not being that for me. That's getting giddy.
That, bro.
That's
what
he
said.
That's what he said.
Oh my!
You said that if we don't get Isak, you're gonna.
That's what he said.
You're better than us.
He said we'd win the league. We'd be the front runners.
I don't know better than you, but I think I would have put us to win the league.
Yeah, then that's better than them.
Well, yeah, the league table.
This is Marshall's show, so I have to respect his views.
No, you don't, mate.
You don't
I don't respect his views. I don't respect his views.
That's what I mean. See, that's getting.
Don't call me delusional. Everyone does.
No, it could happen.
Let me be the judge because I was looking at the streams. Mike, the real fact everybody said was like top 4 are really close, very close. It's hard to predict, but if Liverpool gets Isak, then you are clear favorite.
Yeah. I mean, listen. Listen. I think that my take on my team is that I spent 300 trillion Nigerian naira, otherwise known as $500 million, otherwise known as 450 million pounds. If I don't win this Premier League, it is an utter, catastrophic, categorical failure. It's that simple. And if I don't win this Premier League, then I expect to win one of the cups and the Champions League. If I'm not going to win the Premier League, then I want another major trophy and I want one of the cup runs because we've spent too much money. We've backed this manager. This is a Premier League winning side. You don't spend that kind of money to not win the league. There are no excuses unless everyone gets injured, unless Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah, Alisson, and Ibrahim Konate and everyone else gets a season-ending injury. I'm not giving him any leeway.
That makes sense.
Can I ask you, Liverpool guy? If you didn't get Isak, yeah, did you still think he was going to win the league?
Yes, because
Okay.
I believed in Ekitike. I believed in Verts. I believed in Salah. Wemby.
Can I
Wemby
ask
is a
you another
goat.
question?
What's
Where
that?
did you think?
Sure.
Where did you think Chelsea were going to finish?
I think I had
Realistically.
Chelsea. I think in our American Waffle prediction, I had Cole Palmer as the player of the season, and I had Chelsea finishing 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It was either 4th or 3rd. But I also thought that Cole Palmer was going to be slicing and dicing. I don't know now with this injury if he's going to be able to get the kind of stats to have the player of the season. But I know I thought you guys were a good side. I've always been fair to Chelsea, at least in my mind, especially during the Pochettino era. I thought that a lot of the struggles that you guys had in the first half of that season were because your players were not killing off games in the first half, and then that led to you losing games in the second half, and then of course the manager has to take the fall. But if you guys perform and everyone's healthy, it's pretty fucking hard to stop, a six-headed serpent.
And the thing is, like, my logic has actually a basis to it. Last season, up until December, people were saying, "Oh, we're challenging for the league. We're up there with Liverpool. All this and that." What was the problem? We fell off. Injuries started happening. We lost a striker. We fell off completely. We lost key defenders and all that stuff. So I'm thinking, okay, this is the same team as last season. We've just bolstered, and now we have depth. Mind you, there is a factor of UCL football. That does happen, right? I can only imagine it's up from here. Yeah, there'll be bumps along the road. That's why I'm saying, like, what JC said, I'd rather drop a few points here, but go on a good momentum for the rest of the season, maybe drop 1 or 2 points along the way, rather than die off at the end of the season like we did, or at the middle of the season like we did last season. So I was thinking, okay, we could probably start off hot and maintain that form for a lot longer. But, Isak is
Stop
a
grinding rivals.
I'm actually grinding Ghost. I'm playing the new Ghost game. Sorry.
Ghost of Tsushima or whatever.
Ghost of Yote, mate. Listen, get it right, you
Yote,
fucking
okay.
mate. You know right? Respect my games.
Ghost of Yote.
I like that game. It's a good game.
It's a new game, mate. It just came out.
It's the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it came out 39 minutes ago.
Or prequel.
39, and you're already grinding it? Come on, bro.
It's a story game, mate. I don't grind story games. Chill out.
But yeah, that was like, I think most fans, if you look at it that way, probably had a good reason to believe, like, oh yeah, we could probably challenge. If we did it last year and we just bolstered the team, we didn't get rid of key players, then we could probably, improve off of that.
I just think that you guys invested in the wrong area. Like, all you needed to do was was just buy Joao Pedro, and then go get yourself an experienced center back and an experienced goalkeeper. And then if you want to go get other youth talent, try to make it another center back.
Attention. Yeah.
And
that's why I don't disagree with fans when they look at like the left wing options that we have, and neglecting the center back.
What was your problem last year? Scoring goals or conceding goals? Which one?
We were missing goals. Additional 15 goals would have given us
conversion.
Brought us closer.
I think it literally we had like a dual fault problem where we weren't scoring enough goals.
We flip flopped actually.
Yeah, but we weren't scoring enough goals at times, and then defensively we were absent, and our goalkeeper was always having an error every once in 4 games basically.
We were the third best defending.
Big up to Joey for the raid. I appreciate it. Everyone who came in through Joey's raid, be sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and yeah, big up Joey.
We were
Go ahead, JC. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Third or fourth best attack and third best defense. So either we should have had a little bit more clean sheets or another 15 goals, and our position would have been totally different.
But that isn't wrong. Like, I think if we had... So, I don't like that we spent as much on the players that we did on the left wing. I didn't really care who you got in that left wing, but that left wing did need to be addressed because we lost one to, meladonium and Ukrainian drugs, right? And we didn't, and Jadon Sancho didn't want to sign a contract, so we were down 2 left wingers, so we needed a left wing, right? So fine, you got a left wing.
70 million on. You could have gone and bought Malik Fofana for like 25.
Thank you. Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly my point. You could have gone for Malik Fofana.
Which one? Okay, as a football fan, remove Chelsea from the equation. Which one logically is easier to get to? Conceding less or scoring more?
That's kind of hard to say. You can't, how can you really
Scoring more? It's always going to be scoring more. In my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, because if I'm looking at Chelsea from not Chelsea tilting glasses, if I'm seeing like a talent like Cole Palmer and you bring in a João Pedro and you have Pedro Neto, I'm thinking like, bro, I can get a really sick left winger and we can have a really good attack here. Defensively, I mean, I think it was solidified enough that I didn't need to really bolster more in that. I would have bolstered more in the attack. So yeah, attack.
Yeah, but you thought we had enough.
For me.
But you thought we had enough of what we did.
Yeah, because at the end of the season, the way we were defending, I thought was good. So I was like, okay, cool. We have the same players.
Yeah, but what about? Yeah,
but for me,
go on.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I think I always disagreed with you that because I was just like, we needed a centre back to partner Cole because Cole towards the end came into his own. I was always in the agreement that both Chalobah and Tosin were always going to be bench options.
Fofana
was the one. Right?
I understand that people love to write off Fofana, and I get it. I'm the same way, but you gotta remember Fofana is a part of this team, and Fofana is a player in the Chelsea squad that if he stays fit,
but he hasn't shown. He hasn't shown the level.
That's like me saying, but that's like me. Can I give you an example? Yeah,
this could be the season, guys. This could be the season.
No, but this is like me. This is like the conversation we used to always have about Rich James. Yeah, until he finds that
if he plays,
right? If he plays, and I can't. And I think for me. At this stage, you can't do that, bro.
Both are injured now.
Another issue. Both are injured. Yeah, and I think the issue also becomes. Listen, I know a lot of people like Tosin because I think what the man they did that was really good was that he realized this very lower league size Tosin can be effective against them because they do a lot of crosses and that's like his forte. But we need to realize the moment we start facing a lot of these mid-table teams are good teams now, boys. Yeah, mid-table teams, upper mid-table, top teams. Tosin is like,
average.
It's like barbecue chicken. Bro, he is like barbecue chicken. Chalobah's like that too, by the way. Don't worry, Marshall. You know me. Tuino D and Tuino Dom. You got Tuino D, Tuino Dom.
I don't. But the thing is, I don't really agree. I think with Tosin, and again, in the beginning of the season, didn't rate Tosin. As the season went on, I was like, okay, Tosin is actually. I think now he's getting comfortable, and now he's showing where he could be in this team.
What level though? What level are we talking? Are we talking top 10 in the league, top 15? Like, how good are you talking? Because being okay is not great. He's all right for me. He's all right. His one-on-one's not. He's not great when it's one-on-one.
That's reasonable.
That's what I'm saying. We need. I need someone like Saliba, Gabriel. I'm not saying that good, but that you got Colwell, but we always needed that.
No, I get that, but where's Levi Colwell in that for you?
Okay, Colwell.
Like top 10, top 5, like where?
He's not top 5.
Excuse me.
Let me just do this, JC.
Our worst defensive statistics last year were when we didn't have any forwards, and freaking Nkunku was not running and nobody was pressing.
Yeah.
And all the teams were doing is pack the midfield, and as soon as the transition happens, nobody is pressing. Hit the ball over the top, on the counter, go and attack. And our defense was most of the time running backwards. But defending while running backwards is difficult.
Sure.
And it's not only the fault of, as I said, don't look at the TikTok moments. It's not the fault of the defenders last season.
But CSC for life, where do you, just to go back to our point, where do you see Levi Colwell in terms of like in the league, center back? Top 5, top 10?
Maybe, I don't know, just outside the top 10.
Okay, that's fine. So he's our best defender. We all agree to this. If some people actually view him as like a top 10 center back, then I see it as like, listen, Virgil Virgil won the league with Joe Gomez as his partner, or not even that, Matip. And listen,
Matip was good. No, dude, no, but don't.
Matip
but
to
now
me is Tosin level. I don't think Matip
that's
was that
unfair.
great,
I think
and he
that's
was also
unfair.
injury prone as well.
I think he was solid, man. But
You know what Matip is though? Matip
go on.
is like he's like a weaker version of Gary Cahill. That's the best way I'm gonna put him at. In terms that he's better than a Chalobah, he's better than a Tosin,
yeah,
right? And
definitely.
he can partner a top CB, right? In the sense that he can still he can still be solid enough to be like, to work well with like a top centre back. That's the best way to put him in.
And then you're
Yeah,
forgetting.
I think that's
he's playing
reasonable.
to Van Dijk, so then that brings him up a level.
Yeah, I
And then
mean, Van
got
Dijk
Robertson
is
on the left,
incomparable. Yeah.
And then you had Trent, and then you had the goalkeeper. So look, it's just
Mhm.
it's a whole
But
combination.
the way I was trying to, the way I see it is like you put a good
Matip was fire. Don't be talking shit to
Yeah.
Matip, right?
That's what I'm saying. He's
And
shitting on
Matip is a much better free signing than
Bro,
Tosin. How about that?
I'll give you that.
Matip was 6'5" and would pick up the ball at the halfway line and dribble through the entire opposing defense once a game. Like that dude could cook. He was fast.
Marshall said
He was
basic.
large. He was the perfect partner to Virgil van Dijk in terms of size, agility, and speed. So I don't think it's a fair comparison, but also Liverpool have the X factor being the best one-on-one goalkeeper in the world. Like,
That's what I said. See,
you know,
and
if
that would be the biggest position.
the
And then
issue,
you have
the
Fabinho
issue is
as well.
that Chelsea don't have that X factor. Like
Yeah,
you
that's true.
guys, you want to play this attacking-based football, but you don't have the X factor. Like Manchester City did have genital herpes virus. No, it's actually Florian. It's Florian Fuchs, but Florian
Squirts.
actually has created the most chances in the Premier League with 21. So it's not his fault that no one else can finish their dinner. But to me,
is that what you're doing?
you guys,
is that what you're
you guys need your own X factor. Like whether it's a center back or
It's Palmer?
in my honest opinion, no, I'm talking defensively.
Okay.
A defensive
Yeah,
X
yeah.
factor. Because we always had in this Liverpool era, we always had the attacking X factor, Mohamed Salah. And we always had the defensive X factor, ALISSON. If you look at when Manchester City were in their prime, they had the attacking X factor in Kevin De Bruyne or Erling Haaland, and they had the defensive X factor in Ederson or Rodri. Right? Look at any team who's ever been a champion. I mean, if you want to even go further back, Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho. You need an X factor at both ends of the pitch, and right now, you don't. I don't remember the last time. Maybe Rudiger was the last time where you guys had an X factor at the back, right?
Yeah.
You need at least one.
Thiago Silva.
Ideally,
Rudiger,
two. Ideally, you have two: your goalkeeper and one of your center backs who makes the other center back better. But you have zero. So like even in the summer, if you just went out and you bought a fucking Mike Maignan or like anyone on the planet whose name isn't Robert Sanchez, you could have gotten any goalkeeper. You could have gotten fucking James Trafford. Lord knows he probably would have sucked.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
I can't lie to you. James Trafford would be improving this team. No cap, Marshall. I promise you, James Trafford would improve this team. Hot take.
We will dissect that hot take next time because I do have to head out, unfortunately, guys. Sorry.
I'm off.
But thank you for coming on, everyone. This is a very, very good conversation, a very nice way to kind of preview Liverpool coming up on Saturday. And obviously, we got international break coming up as well. There'll be more discussions like this, I'm sure.
When's the next one?
After this weekend.
Well, the next show is potentially Thursday or Friday, depending on if I feel like doing a Liverpool preview, which I might. Das, I might hit you up. And then Saturday, obviously, for the show. But the next call-in is going to be November 5th, if all goes well. The first Wednesday every month. I might do this twice a week, depending on how much people we get, or twice a month, depending on how many people we get to start getting more involved in these shows. But yeah, Big up, Das. Thanks for coming on, obviously. And thanks for coming on, everyone that came on today. Smash up the like button if you haven't done so already, especially if you came on Joey's raid. Big up to Joey for that raid again. Also, check out WAP Sports if you haven't done so already, ladies and gents. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get to 5K subscribers. So if you want to help out towards that goal and help the channel grow, that'd be very much appreciated. It never goes unnoticed and it never goes not appreciated. Also, check out the memberships if you haven't done so already. We do have 4 different tiers starting at 99p, and at the proper casual tier and higher, we give shout outs to our proper casual members, and those members are going to be, if you just give me 2 seconds to pull up this list, I will pull it up for you. Those members are Dark, Lanray Sadiq, A. Soliman, EE, and Adrian. Big up to you guys for your support at the proper casual and higher tiered membership, as well as the support of everyone else who is a member of the Casually FC crew. But yeah, we'll be back again maybe this week for a Liverpool preview, then again on Saturday, and then Sunday, obviously, for the Casually Chelsea show. Big up to everyone who came on, and big up to every single one of you in the chat. And yeah, Robert Sanchez is going to be our X Factor. You guys have a wonderful night. Peace out. Good night.